Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, but good morning generally on our platform. And welcome to the 4th episode of the Boss Moms in Business. You know, we just started this because we wanted a few mothers to share their stories of how they've literally been able to cope with life as a woman, as a mother in business. And it got so interesting that we even have a lot of ladies saying, oh, thank you so much, please do not stop this series, let's get more women to speak. And for the last 3 episodes, we've had over, I think, about 15 women speak, or 13 women speak, and everyone's story is different. You know, it baffles me that, I mean, we are mothers in business, and yet we have different experiences, different approaches to life generally. And so we are so honored to have 4 women here ready to also share with us. You know, these are people I have interacted with, and they are excellent women. They come with energy, they come with grace, they are very intellectual. You know, this particular women for today, it's just like up there hot, you know. So this evening they'll be sharing with us as well their stories. How are they able to do this? What does it mean to be a boss mom in their own world? And how are they able to cope with the whole stuff about being a mom and still being able to run a business, supporting a home and everything. So we'll be hearing from them this evening. So without further ado, I will hand over to Mrs. Murphy to take over. So we're going to be interviewing them one after the other. So we're going to hand over to Mrs. Murphy to interview the first person, Esty Tega. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm very excited to interview Esty Tega because when I was in Uyo, she was the one that handed over my 7 million naira.
Yes.
So it's exciting, you know. I took that picture and I'm with a celebrity. I have a celebrity, so it's an honor to interview you, Esty Tega.
Oh my! I knew I was going first. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much, SD Dr. ID, for bringing me here. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. It was good seeing you for the first time. I didn't know you were that tall. I mean, that's a beauty queen right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start. And I'm going to be asking you a few questions. The first question is, what is your definition of a boss mom?
Okay. Forgive me, I might digress a little bit from the norm today.
It's perfect.
Yeah, because my own picture of a boss mom is rather very all-encompassing. I'm still looking for a person that I can download her picture and post, and everyone can just say, okay, that's it.
That's the boss mom.
You know, I'm still, so I did write down about 5 things. I put down 5 things. The first thing to me for a boss mom is not really her money. It's not really her having cash. My first thing with a boss mom is confidence. She needs to be able to know her own. A boss mom should know her own, be able to come into a space, feel comfortable in her skin. You know, I could have decided to come on this interview without makeup. It doesn't matter. But she loves herself for who she is, and she can't be oppressed. That's number 1 for me, for a boss mom. Number 2, a boss mom is someone who's got it. I'm looking for the other English. That was the very easiest one that could come to my head, but she's that kind of woman that will go, I got it. Like, she can hold her own. A boss mom is a woman that her husband can just, you know, travel for 2 months, 3 months, and he knows home front is fine. My wife can handle. So and so comes up. There is one issue Madam can handle. There is an investment that needs to be done. Madam can look at the papers. She can sign the papers. She can interpret it. She has that covered. She doesn't need to always refer or defer to her husband. More or less, a boss mom is the woman that her husband can trust to take decisions in his absence. And he knows that those decisions are still going to represent exactly what he wants. That is a boss mom. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not coming too hot this night.
Please, you can come blazing anyhow.
Just
give it to us.
Thank you. Finish us. We're okay. We're happy.
All right. So number 3 point for me is a boss mom is someone who is fearless. Fearless, like you can take on whatever risks, whether it's in terms of investment as regards money, or in terms of the family, or in whatever, but she is fearless enough to take on a risk, right? And the husband can still trust her for that. That's like number 3 for me. A boss mom is fearless in that she can stretch her capacity. She is constantly evolving. That's number 4. A boss mom who is someone who is constantly evolving. I don't expect to have known you in secondary school and I still come back and 10 years after we're having a discussion and you're still that same person that I knew 10 years ago in secondary school. There's something wrong. You need to have evolved, whether it's mentally, whether it's socially, but there must be that constant development with a boss mom. Today, she's at this spot. The next time you're finding her, she's on another role, constantly pushing the barriers, pushing, hey, I've forgotten the word, but I hope you get me, Sha, but she's constantly pushing the boundaries, okay? The 5th thing is this, which is very touchy. I'm going to try to not make it very touchy. I'll try to be as objective as possible, which is my number 6 point. But the number 5 is this. A boss mom is someone who she complements rather than compete. Whether it is with her husband or it is with fellow women. I don't know, there's this thing with women. When we find ourselves in a space, we're always like, we can all glow and shine and lift each other without having to be that, we can support each other. I mean, you can get something wrong and I can actually like lend you a helping hand without feeling like I'm going to be pushed out of the spotlight. So a boss mom should be comfortable to complement, not compete. We're not about the competition. Number 6, bonus point. A boss mom is someone who is, should I use the word objective? I'd rather use the word emotionally intelligent. In other words, you know where to draw the line between sentiments and objectivity. You know when it's time to, okay, take this whole charade. What happened? Take the emotions out of it. Deal with the facts. You can actually sit down, pick out the facts, then draw a conclusion, and then from there, draw a course of action. It's objectivity. There are not so many women that can do that. So that's number 6 one. I hope I didn't take too much of your time.
Okay, so what I can say is, as the tiger has turned all of us to Agama lizards, everybody was just nodding.
Oh my God!
All I saw, everybody's head was like this. That is my summary. Oh my God. Thank you so much, SD Tiger. To be honest, one thing I've gotten from this segment and this series is that we get a rush of emotions. Like we find ourselves crying, like right now I'm crying, I'm laughing. Like you just find yourself in different emotions. And I would like to say thank you so much. I don't think I need to buttress anything you've said. You've done fantastic justice to that question. Okay, so the 3rd question is, when did you decide to become a boss mom? And please feel free to turn us to lizards. We're okay with it.
Oh my days. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I might be very, very unlike every other person.
Please,
That's
it's
come on
fine.
here
We need
before
you
now.
to be as unique as possible. It's your story to tell. So we just want your story. So anyhow you want to paint it, give it to us. We can take it. Our tissues are close by. We're ready to laugh and cry, and every emotion. We're ready to run it with you. So please go ahead.
Fantastic. Okay, so my own when would be rather very different because for me it's not just about the money. Yeah, the money is number one, cool. But you could have rich people, people with money, but they ain't got anything up there. I'm sorry, they could be rich people, but they still don't know how to strike a balance. So for me, following what I just defined as my own view of what a boss mom is, I think I had made that decision from my SS1. Yeah, because it determined a whole lot of things, that a whole lot of decisions I took, even after secondary school, even with regards to my job, a whole lot of decisions I took were based on that decision. Why? Why am I saying so? Naturally, I was supposed to read science. I was supposed to be in science. My dad had already concluded, stamp, sign, seal, deliver. This girl is going science, And yes, I've got the brain for science, but I'm the only person in my entire family. Yes, I'm the last child, but I'm the only person who said, nope, I'm going to go for business. And it's as crazy as in my SS1, I was the only student in arts who was reading geography. You don't see that. If you're in arts class, it's either you're doing literature and history or you go to science. But I didn't want to do literature and history. I loved geography, I loved biology, but I didn't want to do science. So I was the only human creature in SS in that particular set, having that weird combination. Why am I saying that? Because I started taking those decisions for myself from that time. And I started making sure that every other thing I was doing afterwards was trying to fold into that picture that I was going for. So that's my when. Weird, right? Very weird.
Honestly, it is not weird, but it's good seeing knowing that at a young age you already knew what you wanted to do. Many of us at that age just wanted to go with the crowd, just probably wanted to do what we were asked to do, and it's very rare. It probably has to do with your upbringing or something about you, but I can say that's really impressive, and I honestly wish a lot of young people can have that mind of their own, to do what they feel they want to do, because a lot of adults are just wasting away because they just feel nobody guided them, or they couldn't make up their mind, So I think that also has to do with the confidence you talked about. When you're confident in your abilities, you're confident in yourself, you just know what you want to do, irrespective of who it's going to hurt. You're making the right decision for yourself. So thank you so much for that. So the next question is, please share your journey with us before you became a boss mom, and now that you are a boss mom, what future do you see?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That is really a journey. Okay. So yes, from time, I think I took a whole lot of stuff from my mom because she's an entrepreneur and she's not a lazy woman. She's not a lazy woman. So I think I took a lot from her. I guess she was my very first influence in terms of being a boss mom. And with regards to my journey, this is who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the CBN governor. Yes, that was my dream. And so I started trying to work things in that direction. Fine, I got a job in a bank. I enrolled for professional certifications. I did CFA. I mean, I developed an ulcer because of studying for CFA. It was crazy. And I was doing that with my banking job. So I did CFA. I think I passed level 1. Level 2 was crazy. I just like, okay, let me just switch. Let me go for accounting. I went to ACCA. I did the whole F9, F7, blah, blah, blah. At a point, I had to stop and ask myself a question, because I had now moved from the banking industry into the oil and gas. So here I was working in Total Nigeria PLC, and my first job role was customer service officer. That's not what I wanted, you know? So I started asking, okay, so what are my career prospects? How am I ever going to become the CBN governor? Okay, leave CBN governor. You know, this is what life does to us. It's crazy. You set out on something, but life just keeps downsizing. It just keeps cutting you down. So you find yourself accepting, okay, this is what I can take. Okay, this is what I can take. So I was now trying to like, what are my odds of ever getting into CBN? Okay, leave CBN. Let's try SE. Okay, let me try and be a financial broker. At least I'm a financial analyst. Sorry, let me try and become a financial analyst. There are not so many job roles in Nigeria that use financial analysis. You know, so my dreams were not just applicable in the Nigerian economy. It was frustrating. And here I was looking at my, what do they call it, objectives in my my last company. What is my career path from customer service? Where am I going to go to? Okay, they pushed me to marketing, general trade executive. That's another how many years? I had to start asking more questions. I said, okay, look, this whole thing is not going to work. This whole professional bow tie, koi shoe, blah, blah, blah. This thing is not going to work. So I have to find an alternative. At that point, I wasn't even one who wanted to just depend on salary, because yes, salary was good. But then I know I wanted to be able to start buying properties. I wanted to be able to, that's something I'd always wanted to do for my university. I still remember approaching GT Bank when I was in year 2 or year 3. Yeah, year 2 or year 3. I still remember approaching GT Bank and asking them if I can open an account for an unborn child. I was already thinking for my kids, even as at my year 3. My parents will give me pocket money. I will carry pocket money. I'm going to be buying Zenny Bank shares. Sometimes I feel like slapping myself down. I have so many shares, Zenith, GT, EcoBank, blah, blah, blah. But all that was cool, but it wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be. So I tried other businesses, right? I tried the whole bringing in foodstuff from the north to the south. I got duped in the process. I left it. Boutique is not my thing. I'm not a fashionista. So I just know it. I'm never bothering myself about that. So when this came along, the Long Reach platform came along. Initially, my initial mindset was, it's just those network marketing things. It's for those guys that don't have jobs or don't have vision, that want to be walking on the road hawking products. I can't be caught doing that, you know? But then I was virtually cornered into signing up. To be very frank, I signed up 2014 and didn't do anything about it until late. I think I woke up late 2014 when I now saw people getting cars. And even when I saw that, you know, the very funny thing, what only occurred to me then was, oh, they are getting cars. If they can do it, I can also do it now. How about, am I not intelligent? Okay, so let me just, you know, push it and try to get my own car and all of that. And that's when I woke up and started trying to like, okay, learn about the business and do the business and all of that. 2015, I got my car. And when I got my car, it was like, okay, I'm all right. I got what I wanted, so I'm cool. So I just went right back, you know, and some things happened within that period that got me emotionally stressed. And I was like, hell no, I'm not cut out for all this emotional. I'm not one for banter, women fighting. I don't want. So please, I beg, Long Reach is not feeding me. You should hold your Long Reach. Let me just go and do my work. So I put it on hold for like 2.5 years because I was not seeing the other side of it. I only saw it as network marketing, bring people. Yes, it's possible to still be on the platform, have cars, and you're still not seeing the big picture. I was not seeing it until 2018. I think in 2018 is when a whole lot of stuff turned around for me. I did have my grand upline constantly on my case, and she really did challenge me a lot. She kept telling me, you can do more, you can be more, you can. So I started opening my eyes to what I could actually use the platform to achieve. Use it to achieve notoriety, use it to achieve, I wasn't even seeing the monetary aspect of it, being able to now start, doing investments, doing other stuff, creating other channels of income. I was not seeing that yet, but I was just seeing it as a platform that could help me become bigger, better, become notorious, like known, And 2018 is actually what, that year changed the whole direction, using this platform and helping me to start becoming a better person and seeing better opportunities. From that time till now, I can't tell you how much, because funny enough, I'm not always keeping abreast of how much money I've made from the platform, but I can tell you one thing. You see that thing that I tried to do in my year 3, open an account for an unborn child and start saving money? I didn't need to go and do saving money. This platform enabled me to create sources of income for my kids. My 4-year-old, she's just 4 years. That girl is a landlady. That girl is already earning rent. And I ain't done. Because that babe needs to have a property outside this country. She needs to start making money in other currencies. That's how crazy this platform is. They are just 4 and 7. At age 5, the first one paid her father's flight ticket to US. That was in 2017. Because I said then he wasn't really like, that was 2017. He actually got very much involved in the platform in 2018. That's when he just like, okay, he's like, this thing is going to work. And he just delved in. But before then, he was just like supporting on the side. Okay, let me not be the one that is discouraging you from your dreams and all of that. But so far, so good. Currently, of course, you all know he's in the UK. He's doing his master's, courtesy of this. So this platform completely changed, not just financially, but pushing us to be able to start achieving those dreams and doing those things that we can. Ladies and gentlemen, this platform has given me a voice. Because we all have gifts. We all have something inside of us that we know we can express, but we can't start building that platform from scratch so that people can start listening to you or to us. But that's what this platform has afforded us. Let me not say me, but us, because there are a lot of us on who are on this. So we're able to find a voice. We're able to get into investments. We're able to do a whole lot of stuff for our kids and start planning something for their future. That has been my journey so far. Right now, I'm not working anymore. I'm not 40. I'm not yet 40. I still have a couple of years to even achieve 40. But I am so glad I took this decision a couple of how many years back? Because right now I am living, I'm not there yet, but I am so glad. Last week I could take my kids out and we went to the beach and had fun. Do you know how many years I've been trying to do that? I've been hoping to be able to take my kids, just travel to Lagos and go to beach. Just beach. Problem. Only beach, oh. Because when it's time for leave, one Oga will stand up and tell you, you cannot go on your leave. In fact, when you're on your leave is working leave. You're on leave, you're not at rest. I mean, I traveled to China in 2019. Dr. ID, you were there. If you can remember, that was the most tumultuous trip I had ever had, because from the beginning, they were already telling me in Lagos, to suspend my vacation and come back for training. If I miss that training, it's as if I was good. I was like, I've already booked, my ticket is already, we're already going. So I should cancel this trip. I started going, my husband was mad. You see, I deliberately decided to come on this call today without wig. You can see all the gray hairs on my head. It's not age, it's stress. But check it out now. I'm at home. I can do my stuff at my own time. I'm able to structure a whole lot of things. I'm able to even like right now, I'm actually on the verge of restructuring the whole learning academy I have on my team. You're impacting people. It's countless. I can't. It's countless.
Oh my God. Okay, so I just have one question, and let me ask before any other person will ask. Can you adopt me? Because I haven't bought my house in US yet, abroad. So if you're looking for a daughter, honestly, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll find a way. Oh my God, honestly, I don't know what other definition anyone needs for a boss mom. At the beginning, you said you're looking for that person's picture that you would just put there and then people would point at and say, that is a boss mom. Honestly, I can say you are a boss mom because from your story, you are actually living the life many people are dreaming about. My why for joining this business was because of my children. And I think probably because you mentioned it, that your mom actually gave you the strength in which you're using right now to build what you're building. So I also want to be that kind of mom that my children would look up to. And I'm sure so many ladies here, please, if you want to be that type of mom that your children would look up to, and then they would start, imagine at age 4, you're already a landlady. If you want to be that type of mom that your children would look up to, type 222. Like, let me even type it because I can't even miss it. Let me type. While we'll also file for the adoption.
Look at all the 222. Look at all the 222. I'm sure every woman wants to be that mom.
Every woman wants to be that.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mrs. Murphy. When I hear mothers say my mom inspired me to become this great boss mom, I just said that's all I want. I don't need to leave money, which of course I can leave my children. You see that inspiration. Even my husband says that it was his mother that gave him the entrepreneurial mindset he has today. So women, I seldom hear a man say it was my father that taught me this entrepreneur. You will not hear, but the women are diligent because they always carry their children along, and show the children. So thank you for that. Thank you. Back to you, Mrs. Murphy.
Thank you, Doc. And I think why people always talk about their moms is because moms are expected to just be stay-at-home women washing plates and cooking. So everybody expects a father to be at work or running a business. But when you see a woman being able to do everything, do it all, that's enough to inspire anybody. And this will take me to my next question. That's the last for now. How are you able to manage your time to be a mom as well as effectively run a business? How are you able to balance it? Let us learn. Dear mother.
That question is a very tricky one. Because you know what? In the last 1 year since I left my job, I've been asking myself, how the heck did I cope? I don't know. I don't know.
Please tell us how you even coped when you were working, running this business and being a mom. Let's start from there. Tell us now that you even dropped one. How are you doing it? Like how?
Geez. Starting from when I was working, wow. See, my team asked, some people from my team asked me this question, and I summarized it into 3 things. I said vision, passion, drive, those 3 things. Because if you honestly ask me, sometimes I sit back now, myself and Ezituri Chineye, we've had that discussion. We've sat down and asked, how the heck did we do this? How did we build teams to become star directors while we were doing crazy jobs? Our jobs were mad and our kids are tiny. Like, they were at this small stage. They were just, that's when they need you the most. They are not independent. They need you to watch over them, mother them, do everything. You know, you're virtually carrying them almost everywhere if you don't have someone. So this is what I know I did. I tried as much as possible to delegate what I can delegate. Then that's number one, delegating. That was the very first thing I did. But I already had that vision and that passion and that drive. So that was my constant adrenaline that would keep me running. Some people would get to ask me like, don't you ever have a downtime? Don't you ever like, you know, lose your energy? Where do you get this energy from? That is the source of the energy, the value, the passion, the drive. Then I learned how to delegate. There's some things that, especially when I was at work, I've had a morning that I was woken up at 6 a.m. by my GM. Woke me up 6 a.m. in the morning. I jumped out of bed. My kids were just getting ready for school at that time. That's like 6, 7. Of course, they go to school by 7 o'clock. But there's no how I would have been able to do that. So I needed to have someone in the house to take care of the house chores. So there are some things you can free up. Yes, women, we like to be hands-on. There are some house chores you can delegate. Bikonu. Delegate it and use the time and do something else. Why should I be washing plates if I can pay someone to wash the plates? Why should I be mopping the house if I can pay someone to mop the house? For crying out loud. Why should I be washing clothes if I can get myself a washing machine and wash the clothes and get a dryer and dry it? Saves me time. I use it for something else. So delegating is not just to human beings. Delegate to machines as well. Then, of course, in my office, I did one thing for myself. I developed a good relationship with the junior staff. So I could always rely on them to run certain errands for me. So sometimes I might need to be in 3 places or 2 places. All I need to do is how can I leverage and get this done without me being there physically? That is how my brain works. I'm looking for who can I push? Okay, this person, go here, do that, do this. If you can't, give me a call. If you don't know what to do, let me know, I will follow. So sometimes I'm driving and I'm on a call. I could have chains of calls while I'm driving to one destination. But somehow I was just able to manage that time. So delegation, prioritizing, you know, that's another very difficult thing for us ladies to do. We find it very difficult to be able to know which task is the most important. How do I prioritize my day? Especially for some of us that are working, the emails have a way of disrupting your day. You're trying to work on one thing, you're receiving one urgent email from Oga at the top, telling you, give me this report now. Which one is more important? Is it that report or what you're doing at the moment? Which one goes first? Okay, if these 2 are that important and they need to be done at the same time, can I ask someone to make it easier for me? So those were majority of the tools I was using. And then for my business part, I made sure what I did, of course, I made sure I always, somehow, God always helped me. I was able to always get the help, you know, that would help me take care of the chores at home. Somehow, I was just able to always have that. So as I'm coming back from work, I'm done with the kids. We've looked at our homework, blah, blah, blah. We've gone through the whole stuff. I've checked what you did from school. They've eaten. 8 o'clock, bam, I'm on my phone till 12. And at 8 o'clock, I'm either prospecting or I'm training, but I just made sure my training was wild. I just decided, okay, I can't do much, but then I can pour out myself into a whole lot of people. So if I can pour myself out into a whole lot of people, not everyone will catch it, but there are some amongst the lots that are going to catch a whiff of it and be able to run with it. So I did what I mean, the first two, three academies we had in my team, I handled it single-handedly, 3 weeks, every day, mad, content, this same head, not coming from anywhere else. But that was the best I could do. But you know what? that academy didn't help everyone, but it helped a couple of people. So that way, I'm just looking at, I pour out, I'm trying to, focus on raising. So right now, this year, I'm not even doing plenty of blah, 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 blah. My own is just to raise leaders who know how to run this thing, like run this ship like your own. That's just what I'm about this time around. Raising leads that can run the ship as their own. So that was like majorly my main focus. I would still do the whole prospecting. I would still do the whole presentations, but I was able to know I need to do this particular task at this time. This needs to be done. So being able to discern, the Bible will call it discerning the times. Know when to do what. Know when to suspend what. Don't mash up the whole thing. That needs a whole lot of objectivity. So basically, these are the ways I was able to run this. And I never failed to ask for help if I needed it.
Wow. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, SD Tega. Honestly, there's no need summarizing what you're saying because you just poured out your heart and you said it all. But one thing that stood out for me was the delegation part. Many times as moms, we want to be super women. We want to just wear that cape and do it all. And I've come to the realization whereby if I earn 40,000 naira, I would not mind spending 20,000 naira on a help so that I can have my peace of mind, my sanity. I can be able to do things. A lot of people save money for the wrong things. Oh, I spent my whole day washing clothes when you can actually buy a washing machine. So we need to learn how to, and she said delegation is not just to humans, it's also to machines. So let us learn to delegate rightly. Let us also pray for discernment, not just for humans, but also for the time, so that you would know how to prioritize, you would know how to put things in on the level of importance and priority. Thank you so much, SD Tega. I will be handing over to Dr. ID.
Whoa. And we are still nodding like Ngwere. Thank you, SD Tega. Honestly, everyone's just
Thank you so much. I really have fun. Thank you so much.
So sorry, I forgot to say, if you got value from SD Tega, please just type 6, no, not 66 is devil, 77.
Just type anything, drop your favorite emoji, drop everything, just be dropping. If your head was nodding like Ngwere, there put the lizard emoji there, anything, just be putting. If there was a lizard emoji, put. As the Tega, thank you so much. Honestly, when you talked about delegating to machines, I think I should actually talk a little bit about that, because a lot of us want to work too hard and not work too smart. When you work too hard, you are not a boss mom. That's my opinion. I don't think hard work doesn't make you a boss mom. It is the smart work that should make you a boss mom. And I just picked it from this delegation to machine thing, really, because that's smart work. That's literally smart work. Okay. So thank you so much. So many, can you see the comments? It's blowing up. So thank you. We'll be back to you for the final question. Let's go around to the next boss mom. Lady T, all the way from the city of Canada. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness. I have been listening to Tega and I say, what will I say again? Like, no, that some people you listen to are like, hey, oh my goodness. So what can I say?
The standard is high. Lady T, leave it. I know when you start pouring now, everybody, I don't know how, with your own, if we are going to be nodding or dancing, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining us on this. We can't wait to hear your perspective. So we'll start with the very first question, and it's a double question, more or less now. Who, in your own definition, in your opinion, who is a boss mom? And after that definition, you can now use that to tell us if you think everybody can be a boss mom. Like, can any woman be a boss mom? So who is your definition of a boss mom? And can any woman be a boss mom? Yes, please.
Okay, so first of all, I'm so glad that Tega said something about delegation, because it actually was a major part of what my definition was about. I used one sentence. I said, a boss mom. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. I want to be sure.
Yes, Yes, very
I
clearly.
said a boss mom is a mom that calls the shots. A boss mom is a mom that calls the shots. So people, I need to now explain what calling the shot is, because people don't know, people may not know what calling the shot is. They may think that, oh, it's carry shoulder, or oh, she's bossy. But the definition of a boss mom is a mom who calls the shot in her life. As in, she calls the shot in her life. She lives a life by design. I like what she said about deciding something in SS1. See, if you do not sit down and design the life you want for yourself, you'll be living a life by default. You end up life will just be happening to you. And you cannot be a boss mom if life is happening to you. So it has to be someone who has sat down, whether as at a young age, whether as an adult, you have sat down and you have designed your life, the life that you want to live. So whether you want to be a boss mom, a boss career mom, you're still a boss mom because you designed it. Not that you are doing a job because you don't have anything to do. You created it. I want to be a career mom. So you are a boss career mom. If you want to go into business and you have designed it that this is what I want to do, I want to go into business. So you are a boss mom in business. So that's why I say you call the shots. So if you are doing business and you're not even happy in the business, you're not a boss mom. Don't say I'm a boss mom. So be doing business because you have designed it that this is what I want. I want to do business. And if you're on a job and you're not happy with the job, you're not a boss mom, right? So that's my own definition. And then I went to the that for Bible people or people Christians, that definition that we are so proud of saying, that Proverbs 31 woman, right? So I went to that Proverbs 31 and I picked out 5 definitions there. There are so many things about the boss mom, but there were 5 things about that quality. That woman is the boss mom. That's the original boss mom, right? Now I picked up 5 definitions from there. The first one is her husband has full confidence in her. It's written in that Proverbs 31, and I was so happy when Ezitega said it. The boss mom is not just, I'm a boss mom, and yet you cannot instill confidence in your home. Do you understand? So the husband has full confidence in her. I picked that from that Proverbs 31. Then the second one is she brings good and not harm. All right. So the boss mom is, if I the way we say spare the rod, right? So that by not, if you don't want to spare the rod, if you hit your child, for example, if you spank your child, you are bringing good. And if you don't spank your child, you may end up harming the child. I'm using this as an example. So a boss mom is someone that does what she can to bring good and not harm. So that was the second thing. The third definition is that she works. I picked that one. So now I wrote there works. I know there were so many ways it was defined in the Proverbs 31, but what I picked from there is that she works, so she's not idle. So that working could be your job, it could be your business, it could be whatever, but you can't be idle and be a boss mom. All right. Now the fourth one is that she provides food for the family. When I read the first time I read that Proverbs 31, I didn't quite understand it. But today, while trying to prepare for this meeting, it now hits me. It didn't even say she cooks. There is no place in Proverbs 31 where it said she cooks. It says she provides. It says she provides food for her family. So if you provide food for your family, a boss mom, they did not say you must be the one to wash the beans and grind it for you to be a boss mom. It says provide food for your family. And then lastly, which was also why I was so happy about what Ezitega said, he said she has female servants. Now I changed it to she has servants. And see, she could not have done all those things that is written in that passage if this servant is not there. I am telling you, she would not have done that. So you cannot be a boss mom if you don't have servants. And I was happy when she said servants does not have to be human being. servant does also, I even removed the female there. They wrote female servant, but I even removed this female in the Bible. I said, she has servants. She has servants. Servants in that sense is you must have things that are serving your purpose. You should have things that are serving what you want to achieve. All right. So these are my own 5 definitions based on how I see a boss mom, and going into the Bible and reading that passage again and reading it, objectively, without the conditioned mind that we had as children growing up, that for you to be a wife material, you must go and wash clothes, wash the curtain, cook, and do all those things. Do you understand? So to me, the Proverbs 31 has really encompassed who a boss mom is. And I use these 5 definitions to define it. And then you said, can everybody be a boss mom? Yes, everybody can be a boss mom, but not everybody will be a boss mom, because it takes courage. It takes courage to design your life. Because when you are designing that thing and trying to live that life, obstacles will come. People will tell you you're not a wife material. People will tell you that you are not, doing all that because you've designed your life in a particular way. So it takes courage. It takes dedication. It takes determination to create the life that enables you to call the shots. It is not easy, because calling the shot, if you don't design it, will just make you a domineering person, will just make you, a bossy person. But when you have designed your life in a way that allows you call the shots, then you are a boss mom. So it takes courage, it takes dedication, it takes determination. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. A boss mom calls the shots in her life by design. Nothing surprises you. You call the shot. And thank you for drawing us to that. When you started, like, oh, what should I say? What did I say? We were still nodding. Because you came from a totally different angle. You've shown us the Proverbs 31 and you've explained it, and it's making sense. So, every woman is getting to hear. And I would like to say this very quickly to everybody who is listening. In as much as we have been talking about husband here, if you are single, if you heard Esdi Tega, she did not become a boss mom as a wife. She became a boss mom before she became a wife. So please, even people who are yet to be married, who are on this call, you need to start early. You are even more fortunate than some people who became a boss mom because of marriage. You are more fortunate. Look at the definitions and design your life before you get into the marriage. And even if you have a child, start being a mom for that. I said it in the first episode. Any woman who has a responsibility of caring for someone can be a mom. So motherhood that we're talking about here doesn't mean you have pushed out a biological child. No, we're talking about your responsibility. I became a mom, like I said, even before I got married, to my younger one. So a lot of people also have become moms to their younger ones, to their relatives, dependents. That is when you start becoming a mom. Because when these people come into your life, there's a chance for your life to be shaken. And that is why you need to call the shots, despite the external factors, and still live your life by design. As the tiger shared with us how she was hit from all angles, but she continued moving because she got where she had, her energy was coming from something. And that something is her design that she already had for her life. And the same thing with Lady T. So this is for every woman here, and even for the men. Please, we're telling you this so that you also understand that this is how you should encourage your wife. Because most people have what it takes to become boss moms, but they are really being hindered by the men in their lives. The men could be boyfriends, husbands, dads, siblings. They have been hindered. So thank you, Lady T. I just had to say that, okay? And now we're going to move to the next question. When did you decide to be a boss mom? And tell us a little bit about the journey as a boss mom. You are a boss mom now. How does it feel and what does the future hold? Is it like a small 3-in-1? When you decided,
Yeah.
you know, now, okay, a boss mom, so how does it feel? And in the future, what do you say? Yes. Please go on, please.
Okay, so just like Edisega, I actually, but I wrote it down. So when she said it, I was like, yes, I have someone else in my shoe. So I
Yeah.
decided to be a boss mom even before I became a mom. And I'm happy that you mentioned the part that you don't have to wait until you become a mother before you can say,
Yeah.
oh, I want to be a boss mom.
Mhm.
So when I have a 10-year career. So unlike them, they are like the super woman. Me, I could not do that office and the business at the same time. So I had a 10-year career, corporate career that I left before I even got married. And as far as I'm concerned, I designed it. All right. It's a co-creation between me and God. We had an agreement. Okay. So while on the job, I observed my colleagues. So I worked in the bank. I worked in banking, and I observed. I was like the only single one amongst like all my colleagues, and I observed them. I had one of them. Let me just give one story. She lost like 2 pregnancies while on the job. If you know Nigerian banking, you know how stressful it can be, and we're in marketing, right? So she lost 2 pregnancies, and she had a husband who, those husbands that don't eat, they eat fresh food. Like you have to cook it like every time. You cannot warm it. So imagine a banker leaving work. I'm not saying please, and I want to correct this. I'm not saying cooking is bad, please, but maybe it's based on my experience and what I've seen around me. That I was like, what kind of life is this? So she leaves the office as a banker. She'll have to stop by the market or get some things and then go home, then prepare it. And then he also didn't want, he said in his own home, they didn't have house help, so they don't have house help in the house. So this lady, they live in a 5-bedroom duplex. So she would do all that, and then she would clean over the weekend, clean 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, do kitchen, do cooking, do all that. So I just used to, in fact, at some point in my life, when I saw those kind of things, I was like, you know what? Maybe this marriage thing, so maybe I should not even bother. Because maybe I was thinking, maybe this is how the thing is supposed to be. Maybe I'm not doing it again, that kind of thing. But that's why I said I decided it then. So I said, you know what? I want a life that I can be in charge, like I can call the shots. All right, I can. This is said she won't die. Honestly, this is true life story. She finally left the job, and she has a baby now. But I just said, no, 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 this is not life. Oh, no, this is not life. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to work. I'm going to resign. I'm going to start a family. And when I resign, start a family, I'm going to have. So this is me creating it. I never even see man where will marry me, and yet I was designing all these things. So in 2015, I left paid employment, started business. I started direct selling and some other things on the side in 2015. In 2016, I met my husband. In 2017, I got married. In 2018, I had my boy, right? So now looking back, I just told myself, see, this thing is, I am not maybe trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying this is this is what I call life by design. All right. At the time it was happening, I didn't say, oh, this is exactly how it's going to happen. But because that's what I have always had in mind, I said, number one, I don't want that. Maybe it's my nature. I don't know how to do all that plenty hustling. So I said, I wanted time. Time freedom has always been my number one priority in this life, as in the freedom to plan my time the way I want it. So when that happened, my first child, I have 2 boys now. So my first child, the first time he went to daycare, maybe he was at 9 months old. Like we were balling. I used to take him for presentations. I used to take him to play. So to me, I was living the life. So I was happy when she also said, Edega said, it's not really so much about the money. Because for some people, it's not necessarily about the money. It could just be that, see, I want this time. So when people complain, when I take my child to daycare, when he was 9 months, I took him to daycare. Sometimes I take him there by 10 a.m., 12 noon, and then the owner of the place will say, you're late. I said, no, I'm not late. I'm right on time. It is these people that bring their baby by 6 a.m. Maybe they are the ones that are too early. Me, I'm right on time. This is what I want, right? I don't want to bring my baby here at 6 a.m. because I had colleagues, like I said, I had colleagues who had babies and they would still come to work and drop the baby at daycare 6 a.m. 6 a.m. because I used to wake up 5 a.m. to get to work every day. So I said, no, this is not my life. So that was the before. Now the boss mom part, I just love the fact that I have my time, number one. Then secondly, let's now talk about money, because without money, truly, you can't technically be an effective boss mom. You can be a boss mom, but you cannot be an effective boss mom without your own money. All right. So for example, I'll always use myself as an example. I love to shop. I love to buy things that are abstract, things that people will consider is not necessary, is not, So I will talk about my husband a little bit now. If you can hear it, please, I'm sorry, baby. So I married an accountant, right? So if you know how accountants are, some people can say accountants are stingy, but I would say no, they're not stingy because I was raised by an accountant. My dad also is an accountant. Accountants are not stingy, they are responsible with their money. So this is me trying to speak nice of them because you can think of them stingy, but I'm in my house. I don't want them to hear. So accountants are, they are responsible with their money, right? They like to spend on important things, the important things, the necessary things, take care of the home, make sure that he wants to make sure that yes, he can fend for his children, he can put roof over their head, he can do this. And me, I am someone that wants to buy moi instead of buying beans and then grinding the beans and then making moi. I want to go and buy moi, right? I am someone who wants to buy fried rice because I want to eat fried rice instead of coming to cook rice and turn it into fried rice, right? So I had to have my own money. Because the truth of the matter is, with the kind of person I am, if I didn't have my own money, that is where people have problem in marriages. Imagine me now coming to tell my husband, please, I want to eat out. I want to buy fried rice. And then he tells me, but there is rice in the house, cook rice. That's where fight starts. Okay? But if I just tell him, oh, I've gone to buy fried rice, or oh, I want to take you out, even the accountants will enjoy it. If you say, well, I want to take you out, let's go have Chinese. So I now designed my life in a way that my money is for that kind of life. His money is for the responsible living, right? So he will use his money to take care of, if his rent we are paying, if his house we are buying, if his car we are buying, if his school fees, whatever. We do that with his money. Then my own money is, if I want us to just go to Las Vegas, because I told him last year, we have to go to Las Vegas for my birthday. Or if I want to shop, or if I want to get something for my kids, without having to ask him and say, let's get this thing. And then he says, no, it's not in my budget. So the ones that are in his budget, he will use his money to do it. And the one that is outside the budget, I will use my money and do it. And everybody's happy. Because 99% of the time, problems in marriages is money, is financial. Okay, so that is what my life as a boss mom is. And in the future, that is what I want. That is like what I am also designing. And that is why I do what I do. So that I can tell him, you know what, summer, we are going on vacation to this place. And he wouldn't have to think about how to start getting that money or how to go outside the budget. Let it be my own money that we are using for lounging, for splurging, for living life, for enjoying our lives. So to me, that's how I have designed it. Because before now, it was, no. I don't want to tell some stories here of when I didn't have much money. In fact, I used to make a joke that the kind of person I am, you can call me lazy, right? But I always say I'm just physically lazy, that's all. I am not mentally lazy. So the kind of person I am, I cannot be in a home where if I want to eat fried rice, I must cook the fried rice. I am someone that if I want to eat fried rice, someone says I'm enjoyment minister. Yes, I am enjoyment minister. I like to just have fun. I like to live a life of fun. So I already knew that, and that's why I started creating systems in place things in place that would ensure that we don't have that kind of problem in the home. Okay. So I think that's it. I think that was the question. Was there anything I missed? Please, if I missed something, let me know.
No, you did not miss anything. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, like you said everything I like to hear, honestly. I think I said it when I was interviewed, that I cannot be trying to live my extravagant life on the money of somebody's child. This man,
Honestly.
it's okay. You don't want to spend the money. It's okay. Let me make my own money and spend it. That way we cannot fight. No, we don't fight. You say you don't understand why I should buy a handbag worth 200,000. It's okay. You don't need to understand. I do, and I'm buying. And it's not your money, so that, and it doesn't stop me from also contributing to the home. And that is it. So thank you for that angle. I love how you just said, some people actually have such designs in their head. You know how you designed your life. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't want to go through what this person is going through. I don't want to go through what this person is going through. But somehow life hits them, and they now are unable to live through. Most times what life hits them with could actually be lack of time management. Like, there's so much, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to have to let go of something. I can't do it all. I must let go of something. And you find them just letting go of something. It can be hurtful. But so I want to really ask you, right? You are a boss mom in business, but you have 2 boys. You don't live practically, of course, you live in Canada, you don't really have help. So how are you able to combine it all? Like, okay, you're a good mom, you are a wife, you are running a business, and you still have your sanity, you're able to still plan vacation. How are you able to just manage all of this? Please share with us.
Okay, the first one I would say, and I'm not trying to sound too religious or too spiritual or anything, but the first thing I would say is it's God. All right, I know when people say, oh, now God, but let me now break down what I mean by now God, because a lot of people don't explain what that means. So what I mean by now God is, I am someone who has always believed in co-creating. I like to co-create with God. I like to say, God, oh, you know me, you created me like this. I'm lazy, I don't know how to do all those physical things, right? So I have such conversations with him, and that's the truth. So I am someone who I can itemize things I want to do. And then when I itemize and I'm looking, I say, this one is me, I will do this one, I'll do this one, I'll do this one. God, you do this one. The universe, you do this one. That's how I am. So you can call it co-creation, but it has always worked for me, and things always work out like that for me. So when I came to Canada, like I said, my first child, I had him in Nigeria, and he stayed at home till 9 months. So this time around, I came to Canada, I had a baby, I have a second child now, he's 1 year. And, I said, okay, one thing that helped me, and that's where I'll bring in the language business, right? One thing that really helped me was we relocated in May last year. That's the heat of the pandemic, right? And of course, my husband resigned because he's relocating. But the good thing about our business is I don't have to resign from Longreach. All right. So we came. He didn't have a job anymore because I had to come get a job here. I had a business that was still working for me, right? And I must mention this, from May till today, every single week, I still got paid, no matter how little. Every single week. So when my husband resigned, he stopped getting paid because that's the thing with the job. They will not say, okay, let me be paying you until you get another job. So he resigned, and then we moved here. So he stopped getting paid until he got a job. So I had a business, and that's why I'm bringing language here, because that's hardly happens in even MLM. Some of them, it may not really happen. Because when you have a target, maybe a direct sales target that you have to do every month, it may not work when you are out of, maybe there are a lot of things happening. So a lot of things happened with the movement, with relocation, and yet I still got paid, right? So that was one thing. And then secondly, like I said, I just was blessed. Okay, things just worked out for me. So my mother-in-law is actually in Canada right now. It's actually in my house right now. So it also worked out that she was here earlier before I came because my sister-in-law is here. So she came earlier to do omugo for my sister-in-law. And by the time I came, by the time I had my baby, her own baby was like maybe 6 months, 7 months. And so my mother-in-law still has to stay longer. So she's here with me. So that's the second one. And that's why I always attribute it to God. I can't say, oh, there was something I did. It was just him trying to let me know that, okay, you are on the right track, and I would always bring help. I would always support. So that is one thing I would always mention it. Co-create. Like as Tega said, and like all the moms have mentioned here, we need to stop thinking that we have to do it all. Like we have to do it all. All right. We need to stop that. That is not a boss mom, whatever at all. Because when you are thinking that way, even God cannot even help. Because he will say, okay, oh, you don't need my help. You are doing everything on your own. So I will not bother. Right. But if you keep mentioning it, so I always used to say it. Everybody that knows me know. I don't like stress. I don't like stress. I don't like stress. I always say that thing. So she has been here. That is one hand. So that's one of the help that is helping me. Secondly, I don't compete. I don't know how to like compare myself with somebody else. I have two boys. One is one, just turned one. The other one is three. I'm not going to be comparing myself with maybe a man that is hustling day and night. I'll not be like, hey, Tessie, you're not doing much. You're not doing. I don't know how to do that. My own is I work, like I said, I have designed it and I've told God, see, this is what I'm doing. Oh, you know. So I am that kind of person that I don't compare with others. I compare with myself. And because I compare with myself, I itemize my priorities. That's okay. I have to do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. So I have all these things in my sight without looking at the next person and saying, this person is getting this, why am I not getting it? So because of that, it works for me. It helps me balance it all out because my priorities are mine, no matter what someone else tells me. So that's another thing that works for me. I don't compare. I compare with myself. I say, okay, Tess, you can do more than this. So create more time for this, do this, do this. So that's how I work. Second. Then thirdly, I actually wrote it here and I was so happy that she mentioned it. I delegate. I delegate also. I know the things that this is the one that I have to do. Any other task, I say, see, can somebody else do it? If yes, I give it to the person to do. Can somebody else do it? Every time I look at a task, I say, can somebody else do this thing without it affecting anything? If the answer is yes, I give it to the person so that I can have, say, the most important thing a mom should have is a sane mind to be able to create and design. That's the one you cannot outsource. You can never outsource your creative mind. You cannot outsource that one. So I make sure that the ones that are external things, sometimes, in fact, I have to mention this. Some of us also, I hear women say, oh, my husband, he cannot even boil water. My husband, he cannot even do this. But he was once a bachelor. Was he not doing all those when he was a bachelor? Sometimes we can ask them, the reason they are not doing these things is because you have spoiled them and you have made it look like they cannot do jack. So they too, they will not do jack. So here, sometimes I ask him and I say, please help me get grocery. Please let me do this. Please let me do that. Please let me do this. Do you understand? Because this is not Nigeria where we had help and I had someone who was doing all that, right? So now I say, I'll do the one I can do. Please help me do this other one. And he would do it. But when we don't ask, the person would not do. If the person say he wants to eat fresh food and you go and cook fresh food, tomorrow they will say, I want to eat fresh food. You go and cook it again. The next day they will say it again and you go and cook it again and it becomes a life. So it is not as if that is what this person wants. It's because that is what you have done. You've created that life. So me, I also say the ones I cannot do. I say, please, I cannot do this. Let me do it. And he will do it. So that's how I have balanced it. I co-create a lot. I have conversations. I say, see, oh, this is one I can do. You help me do this one. I do that a lot. I delegate also. And I don't compare. I don't compare with external person. I just compare with myself. Thank you.
Okay, so you actually just summarized it for me, but I would just say there's something someone said in the comments. Wow, I like your confidence. And honestly, it takes a confident woman to just go, I don't compete. I leave God, the things for God to God. You know, it takes confidence, like not just confidence in yourself, but confidence in your creator. Like, because this is something every woman needs to hear. It doesn't matter your religious orientation. There is someone superior who you have believed that is walking your path. That person, you should have utmost belief in the person. You cannot do it alone. Thank you, Lady T, for making us understand that being a boss mom doesn't mean you should be able to do it all. Even if you cannot delegate to human being, delegate to your God. Tell him, Oga, now you bring me come this world. I beg. You need to do your part. It's having that good relationship with him. You know, we also get taught this as well. Like, you need to do this part. I leave it to you. And you confidently leave it to him while you do the ones within your control. And this brings me to the serenity prayer, which I feel every woman should pray. God, give me the serenity, right? To accept the things I cannot, I cannot change. Courage to change the ones I can, and wisdom to know the difference. You need to be able to accept things you can't change and leave it to God. Then find the energy, find the courage to change the ones you can, which is like designing your path, delegating. You know, and I like how she said it. She would list the task. Can somebody else do this without changing anything? Then, of course, why is the person not doing it? I'm also talking to myself because I find myself struggling with delegation. I am this, it must be perfect. It must go my way. But I realized that since I started delegating, like Liti said, you have sanity. Because by the time you finish, I don't know, nobody has yet mentioned the shouts, children shout in the house. By the time they finish shouting, your sanity is gone. I don't know who, I mean, is there any mother here who will experience that shout? And after the shout, you can still think. I don't think there's anybody, because I cannot. By the time I need to like go away from them for like 30 minutes, you know, maybe play some calm music. So you are able to do that as a mom, and you still need to think and run a business. So you need to make sure that you are able to like delegate some things. Tell someone, you know what, they are screaming and I can't stop them from screaming, because stopping a child from screaming is not good. It doesn't help them grow, express themselves. So let's get your earpiece, whatever, cover your ears and let somebody watch them. Let them scream. So it's that part of delegation. Being a superwoman, it's cool, but being a superwoman doesn't necessarily make you a boss mom. Thank you so much, Lady Teresa. We appreciate you. I'm going to be handing over to, we'll come back to you though, before we round up. I want to hand over to you, Mrs. Murphy, if you have something to add. After that, you can go on and interview our next boss mom, Clara. Over to you, Mrs. Murphy.
Thank you, SD. Thank you, Lady T. It's always an amazing time listening to you. Like, I just had my notepad and my yellow pen to go with my top. I was just taking my notes, you know. I always have to bring out a notepad and a pen whenever you have to talk. And yes, I just hope every woman can take what you've said and hold on to the part of delegation. Being a superwoman doesn't mean that you have to slave it and do it all. Your time, the time if you can buy your time, please buy it. You know, I would rather if I earn 100K, I would rather have 50K to myself and then use the other 50K to outsource things. That's the only way you can still maintain this glow and all this fine red lipstick. Because if you have to keep on, you know, slaving and stressing and all that, and if you have a partner, if you're the kind of woman that has, if you're the mom that has a partner, you should learn to discuss these things. A lot of women are afraid of their spouses. You should learn to discuss these things. You need to get to that point. If you want to be a boss mom, it's not about being insulting. It's about you can be submissive and still make your point. I've gotten to the point where my husband, I'll call him and say, I have several meetings this night. I'm exhausted. I cannot cook. Please buy dinner for yourself and buy my own. That's how we now discuss. But you shouldn't just kill yourself and do it all. high blood pressure is really low, honestly. So thank you, Lady T, for letting us know that there are different ways to do this thing. And for those of you that are not yet married, for those of you that are not yet moms and all, start planning your life. Like, tell yourself, this is how you want to do it. This is what you want to do. And have those discussions with people, with your future partner. It is very important. Don't assume, don't say I can do it all. You cannot, so you will run out. You will not be shining like Mrs. Murphy. Okay, so Clara is our next speaker. Okay, she's unmuted. Good morning, Clara. We always say morning, as you know. Good morning, good to have you. All right, so
I'm glad to be here.
awesome. So also, I know, what is your definition of a boss mom? Who is a boss mom to you?
Thank you very much. Can I just start by saying how much I've been enjoying this series. Thank you so much for creating this series, Dr. ID. What I love about it, I'll tell you very quickly. I know I'm eating into my time, but I'll tell you very quickly, is the fact that every woman here that I've heard speak so far comes with her own authenticity, comes with her own story. They tell their story in their own way and in their own voice. So that gives me the liberty and the freedom tonight to just speak from my soul and my spirit. Having said that, though, as the Pega Lady T, I mean, you guys have blown the ball right out of the park. I feel like we should take offering and go home. But I'm just going to give my own thoughts, on that question, who is a boss lady? And I actually wrote down a few points. And when as the Tega opened with, trying to, the boss lady is this, and she gave those points, I'm like, yes, she's feeling me, the Rema is there. So basically what I want to do is to look at it as, I want to take the word BOSS and make them an acronym for tonight, right? So for the B, I'll say that the B could stand for, brave and bold. And in that regard, I would say that a boss lady is somebody who is brave enough to recognize the importance of balance in her life, brave enough to chart her own course. Sometimes, it's not sometimes, as society has taught us that there's a certain way that things have to be. You go to school, you study hard, you do a good course. And by that, we mean medicine, law, or something. I remember being in, maybe I'm digressing already, but I remember being in, wanting to go into university and wanting to study theater arts. You don't want to know what my parents told me. So here I am, I'm a lawyer, I studied law because that was a sensible thing to do, but my heart was to just be on stage and move people to tears and all of that. So society schools us in a certain way. So it takes a woman who knows her heart, who knows her mind, who knows her purpose on this earth, who knows her destiny. Guess what? Not even your parents can tell you your destiny. It ain't done, it doesn't happen. And I take a class where I tell people, what is your name? By that I mean, what is your inner name? When we are born as children, we're given names. But when you have come of age is when society or, your lived experiences make you give yourself a name. And I don't know if my name is showing up right now as Clara BTC Rufai. BTC stands for something. They're not the initials or the names that my parents gave. It means born to conquer. But I digress. So a boss lady has to be brave. She has to be bold to know her path, to chart that path. She has to be bold enough to challenge the status quo, to challenge the things that society says, this is the way you have to go, this is what you have to do. That's who a boss lady is. She's also organized. If I say O stands for organized, or she's an organizer in her mind, she organizes the elements. See, there are several elements to our lives. When we're growing up, when we become young ladies, when we're in university, when we become moms and we become wives, there are so many elements into our lives. Even as daughters, as siblings, we're dealing with so many things. That's the lot of a woman. So all of these things can bring the women to the position where, they're always giving of themselves. Everybody wants a piece of you. And at the end of the day, you have nothing left for yourself. And you pat yourself on the back and you tell yourself that, yes, I am needed. I am relevant. People cannot, people like the world can't go on without you. I used to do that. I used to carry the world's problems on my head until I repented a couple of years ago. So a boss lady is someone who knows that she needs to organize every single element in her life in such a way that they align with her overall goal and her purpose in life. Of course, that means you have to know your purpose. So back to point one, where you have to be bold and brave enough to sit down, write the vision, make it bold. Why am I on this earth? Who am I? What are the gifts that God has given me to change people, to change the status quo on this earth, or to change the trajectory of somebody else's life? You answer all those questions. For the S, one S could be savvy. She's savvy. She's savvy enough to make her actions count. What do I mean by that? We prospect people every day. And we know we go to people and they tell us how busy they are and everything. And I look at them, and sometimes, it's not sometimes, most of the time, the people who say they are busy, they're not really busy. They just don't know how to apportion their time. They just don't know how to prioritize the things that matter. They just don't know how to put a value and a premium on themselves and on their time. Because I have somebody, for instance, I'm talking to recently, who she does a business where she takes the stress of busy moms. She goes to the market so she can cook. I just see that as, maybe everyone is different, right? But I thought before that is because she enjoys cooking. I don't enjoy cooking. I'm a good cook. I don't enjoy slaving in the kitchen. I'd rather eat food that somebody else has cooked or eat out, right? And I don't apologize for that. But she now tells me a few days ago that her life is busy. Why? Because, you know the nature of my job and everything. So, you don't enjoy this thing you do? Oh, when you are taking the stress off moms and shopping for them, going to the market and sweating in the market, don't you enjoy it? You don't enjoy it. She said, how can I enjoy it? I said, then, do you want to do this till you're what, 50, 60, 65? Is that really serving your overall goal? I said to her, that's a conversation for another day. You don't need me coming at you now as Clara, the ambassador, the brand ambassador of Longreach, trying to introduce you to this amazing platform. You need me coming at you really as your shine strategist. You need me coming at you as your mentor and as your coach to show you that what you're doing is not optimal. You are shortchanging yourself. So you need to be savvy as a boss mom. The next thing she needs to do, the second S, it just has to start for shine. My personal brand is shine. Everybody knows me, shine, 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 shine. And shine doesn't mean blink. Shine actually talks about the inner shine. It talks about you, because every one of us, we have light on the inside of us, but the cares of life and the different things that happen, come to snuff that light out. So it takes a strong woman, a woman of purpose, a woman who understands her destiny, where she's going, and who knows the weight of, the job that God has given her to do on this earth. It takes that kind of boss woman to sit down and ask those I, me, and myself questions. Who am I? Where am I going? Whose life am I supposed to touch? What are the gifts that God has given me to make a difference in life? So that woman that will sit down and have those honest conversations with herself, ask those questions honestly to yourself and give yourself honest answers. Even though the answers may not be pretty, give yourself those honest answers. That woman is a boss woman. So she's bold, she's brave, she's organized enough to mentally intelligent enough, but as the Tega said, that to organize the elements of her life to align with where she's going, with the overall goal. She's savvy and she knows how to shine with everything she's doing. Her life, she shines with it. Her business, she shines with it. Everything that she does, everything she puts out into society, she shines with it. She makes it the very best that it can be. That's who a boss lady is. Boss mom is.
Okay, wow. So all I can say is, how you just say, deep. Like you just be saying, because there's nothing else to add. This one really hits the soul down. It's just too deep, honestly. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Murphy, this one is when you say the spiritual basketballs. I think this is the spiritual basketball. Like
it enters the bone.
Yes, side. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Clara. That was amazing. BTC, Born to Conquer. I love that. And I've never, thought of myself in that light, getting a name for myself. Yes, people would call you this, you would call yourself that, but I've never really just picked out something to say, this is me, as in for myself, like this is just my own name. So thank you so much for that. And I'm sure so many women will be able to search themselves, ask themselves that question: who am I really? Apart from the bling, apart from the money, apart from the glam, apart from it all, who am I? What do I have to offer? What exactly do I have to offer? So I thank you for the acronym, the Boss Mom, which is you're brave and bold. You have to be brave and bold to be a boss mom, because not everyone is going to understand it, but you know your purpose. So that's what makes you brave and bold. You have to be organized, because you have to be able to plan. If you're not organized, you will be scattered and you cannot function well. Everything will fall apart, everything will suffer. You have to be savvy enough to know what you want and go for it. And then you should be able to shine. And it's not just about the blings and all, everything. People should meet you and see you as the light. You must be able to light up everyone's candle. Everybody you meet must experience you. They must take something from you. That is my own understanding from what you have said, and it means so much. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna mix I can't even remember anymore if I asked you if everyone can be a boss mom, but I'm just gonna ask, can everyone be a boss mom? And when did you decide to become a boss mom?
Everyone can be, I'll go with Lady T here, everyone can be a boss mom, like she said, but not everyone will be. Because some people, there's two ways to define fear. You can face everything and run, and you can face everything, you can fear everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. So some of us are like cockeyed optimists. We see a glass, we say, this glass is half full. Oh my God, how blessed am I that this glass is half full. Other people come at life with negativity. So when the pandemic was happening, and it is not by chance that I started on this platform during the pandemic, when it was happening, I said to myself that the P in pandemic, was not going to stand for panic for me. It was going to stand for a different thing, which was productivity. So when Joyce Oladere came at me with talk about long reach, I think I was in a good place. That's not to say I didn't give her my list of objections and everything, but she was just the right person that got appointed to share, this, if you like, good news with me. So I'm very grateful for that. Now, to go to the question, which was, can everybody be a boss mom? Everybody can be a boss mom. It's a learned behavior. It's something that you can learn, because there's nothing here I've said. Anybody can learn to be brave and bold, even if you weren't born brave or bold. You can learn to be organized. You can learn to be savvy. You can learn to shine. You can learn to let your brilliance light another person's candle, because the world is not served by you being apologetic and playing small and doing all this, as Nigerians would say, humility and everything. If you know God has given you gifts, if you know God has given you, if you know you are kick-ass in a certain area, you have a skill, you have a gift, please shout it on the rooftops. I'm not for that. Is why I build platforms in my brand. What I do is I liaise with thought leaders, influencers, and I build platforms to give people an opportunity to shine. It's not about me shining, but I take delight in letting people. My sister would tell me, I'm not sure if I should say this here, my sister would tell me, you can take poo, put it on a plate, dress it, garnish it, and serve it to somebody. And they'll eat it and they'll say, yum, that was great tasting. Because I would never let anybody around me come at me with negativity. It makes me, if there's anything I fear, it is that. And I have my way of dealing with it. So it is, being a boss mom is a learned behavior. You can learn it, because I even think it's a journey. It's not a destination. Yes, I've arrived, I'm a boss mom. No, there are so many things that you have to learn and relearn on a daily basis. And that having that wisdom to know that, listen, this isn't working for me, this isn't serving me. So why don't I turn my energy or my efforts into a different area? So yes, everybody can be a boss mom, and everybody, that woman is blessed, right? Who has people around her. You are what? You are a subtotal of the 5 people you most relate with, or something like that. So that woman is blessed, who has people, truth tellers in her life, in her circle. I call them, human harnesses, because what does the harness do? The harness guides the horse, so that you have that tunnel vision to keep your focus and go where you're going. If you have such women in your life, powerful truth tellers that tell you that, Clara, this one you're doing, you're just going to burn out. Oh. You're doing shine here, shine there. How long will you shine if you keep working 10-hour days and 12-hour days? If you have people who can speak truth to you in that way, you are blessed. And I have people like that in my life. So yes, it can be learned. And then the next one is, when did I decide to become a boss mom? I think I've always been this bold person. I've always been, if you like, a kind of rebel. And there were things that happened to me in my, when I was younger, that should have like crushed me. I lost two sisters in one day, for example. And I don't say that for anybody to say, oh my God, two of my sisters, one day they were there, one day they were not there. And that's where, in that valley of darkness, right, after I cursed God and I said, what is this relationship we're having, God, me and you? And you said you will be there. What is this? I mean, where I don't get you. I'm not feeling your love right now. And I just basically turned my back on God, and we quarreled, we kept malice, so to speak. But in that point, in that place, I was in a spiraling web of depression, but in that place was where I discovered God in a new way, in an intimate way, in a way that I came out of that a better person. And I don't know how it's possible for you to lose two sisters in one day and say it's a positive experience. You came out of it, but it's true. That's when my shine vision began to burn in my belly, because I knew that these young girls, they were 14 and 16. One day they were here, next day they were gone, and I didn't know what to do with my life. So after that whole depression, and after me and God made up, and after I saw that, I said to myself that they are gone, but you're still here, and you're here for a purpose, and God makes no mistakes. These were the lessons God was teaching me. He makes no mistakes. So you're here for a purpose. And I decided in that season that I was going to live my life vicariously. My sisters are no longer here, but I'm going to so make my life count. I said the world will hear me. The world will hear me. And that's one of the reasons why I gave birth to my podcast, the Shine Capsules podcast. What it is just an audio pill that you ingest or you consume, and it helps you shine from the inside out. What it's done for me is that I can sit here in London in one geographical space, but people hear my podcast in Germany, in America, in Canada, and everywhere. And it blesses me. I'm actually the first person to get blessed. So I would, yes, definitely say I decided to become a boss mom I've always been bold. I've always known my path. I've always known that the path that was set for me is not the path I was going to go. They told me not to do theater arts, but I still found my way into expression and creativity. And, but let me say that of recent memory, if I was to pick a date, I would say that in 2016, I wrote a book called Prison Break, the 9-to-5 Escape Agenda, taking the leap from limitation into liberation. That's how badly I felt emasculated by my 9-to-5 job. Guess what? I'm still in the 9-to-5, but I'll tell you in a bit what has changed. What has changed my perspective? I'm still doing the 9-to-5. I've put long reach on top of it. I'm still a mom to a young family. How am I able to do it? What is it that has changed that like nobody can put me down? Nobody can tell me I don't know my path. That's why I said you need people who can speak truth to you. So yes, I became a boss mom if I would say I took action, specific action in 2016, when I said, I'm a corporate lawyer. I work as a lawyer in the city of London. I earn a good salary, but I was miserable. I would look to the left and to the right and see, one of my, my secondary school mates, she's just done her PhD. This one has launched this course. This one is doing this. I wanted to be free, but my job wasn't allowing me that freedom. I felt like the 9-to-5 was a prison. Even though when I started to write my book, I had a moment of epiphany when I said, oh my God, it is not the four corners of my wall that is my office, that is the prison. It is actually here, the biggest prison, the chief prison is here. So the moment I escaped the prison of the mind, I said, whose rules am I even following? Clara, wait, let's sit down and talk. Just be, me and myself kind of talk. Who is it that says that I have to wait until I retire at 65 or 75 when my life is over, before I travel the world, before I touch the world, before I let my voice be heard, before I put my message out there? And I rebelled and I said, no more, thus far and no more. That thinking stops here and now. So even though I told myself, see me, that I'm sleep deprived, I travel 4 hours to go to work and back every day, 2 hours to go, 2 hours to come back. By the time I come back, I am so tired that my tongue feels like lead inside my mouth. Like literally, I can't speak. I snap at everybody from that point on. If I manage to make dinner, this is why I said this series is impactful, because it is people's real stories. Some of the people in my team may not even have heard the story this way. But if I manage to make dinner, I've tried. Then talk about all the other things you are supposed to do in the marriage for Oga and for the children, looking in their school bag, what happened today, having conversations. You're just not in the mood because you know that you have been spent. You know how it is. So I thought to myself that this isn't sustainable. It can't continue like this. I said, okay, but the path I said I want to take now is I want to become a published author, and then I want to start building my own brand. But how am I going to write this book, me that I don't already have time? Do you know what? If you really want to do something, you will find a way. And if you don't want to do it, you'll find an excuse. I don't know, don't ask me how. In 90 days flat, 90 days, and my book is not a pamphlet. Prison Break is not a pamphlet, it's on Amazon. In 90 days flat, I had written that book and I was standing in a room full, in a prestigious hotel in London, in a room full of people launching my book and speaking my story and talking about how grace had helped me and telling them about how many tears I had cried in private just because there were so many things. Even, is it the mama guilt? When I come back home feeling like I'm not really being a good mom, I'm not spending enough time with my boys. And let me tell you something, if you live in London and you have boys around, teenage boys, basically, you don't want to take your eyes off them for a moment. A lot of knife crime here, a lot of gang culture, that is not who our children are called to be. But for that not to be your story, you have to be a very present mom. But by the time day job finishes taking my time, and I just felt I was just being pulled in all directions. That stopped in 2016 when I packed all my excuses. I felt they were valid. I kind of felt they were valid, but I said, an excuse is an excuse, is an excuse, is an excuse. I packed all of them inside one truckload and I pushed it down into the river and I said, no more. That's how, with that new conviction, I actually had a conversation with my family. I said, mommy is going to write a book, baby. We have to do this thing. This is where I'm going. And my family supported me, helping my children with their homework. They would bring their homework and sit with me in the office here. As I'm writing my book, I would say, okay, have you done that? Oh, you got this one. No, correct this one. And I'll go back to writing my book. We made it work. I made it happen. And from that moment till now, I cannot remember a time in my adult life when I have been more fulfilled. And for me, fulfillment is such a big thing because if you are not in service, if you cannot do things that will leave footprints on the sands of time, you haven't lived. You haven't lived. And you haven't lived if you cannot do something for others that they will not pay you back for necessarily. So for me, it is like being the encourager, the inspirer, showing people that there is a better way. Not to talk of in my coaching life, I tell people, what is your biggest dream? What are your goals? What do you want to do? And they tell me all these nice, fancy dreams. So why aren't you doing it? Money always comes into it because nobody ever has enough money. So I've shown them, or I'm able to show people now that there is a pathway you can follow. There is a platform. This thing is as easy as ABC. Do you brush your teeth? If you brush your teeth, please, let's talk. Why wouldn't you want to get paid for brushing your teeth? So that's how I come at my own prospecting. It's so commonsensical that we don't need to oversay this thing that if you brush your teeth, there's no reason why you should go and be giving your money to somebody who doesn't even say thank you to you. So yes, I would say that in 2016, when I wrote my book and I started to build my Shine brand, that's when I took definite steps to say, that I'm going to be intentional. Because sometimes you know what you know. Sometimes people are clueless. I've never been clueless. I knew what I knew, but I didn't have the momentum. I didn't have the energy physically. I didn't have the mental. Sometimes my head used to feel like I had cobwebs in it. I didn't have the momentum to create. And I'm a creator. So every day when I was not creating, I felt like I was dying. So when I took on Long Reach and people say, you want to kill yourself, I said, I'm dying already. To not create and to not pursue my path is death. Death is not when you physically die. Death is when you ignore what God sent you on earth to come and do. Death is when it's like the Shine mantle. I call it a mantle. Let's say, grab your mantle, wrap it around yourself. Let's run this race. They must see us. They must hear our voices and they must hear our message. So yes. 2016 did it for me. But April 2020, when I added because I'm building Long Reach into my Shine brand. That's why my team is called the Shine Squad, and they are the people who are in the Shine Squad are known as the Shinepreneurs, people who want to build, entrepreneurs who want to use their business to make a difference in the world, to make the world shine that much brighter. That's what I see it as a mission. It's actually spiritual for me.
Wow, wow. Honestly, you got us there with the tears, but to be honest, you took us out of the tears as well because your story is inspiring. And many times I have this belief that God makes us go through certain things
He
sometimes
does.
just so that we can get others who are weaker out of it. It's not
Absolutely.
about, and it's unfortunate that it had to be the death of people that you love, but
Mm-hmm.
probably that was just their time. It just had to
Yeah.
happen. But God also had something in you that He wanted to bring out. And I'm glad you did not just die or slip into depression and remain there. You went there and you came out. I always say this, everyone has a purpose on earth, and we can always find a way to bring it out. Many of us are using excuses to murder our destiny, to murder everything that God has
Ah,
put into us. And if you, like you said,
mm-hmm.
if you always look for an excuse, you would find it. Just give
You'll
yourself a
find it.
reason to move. Just give yourself a reason. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much for that. The next question is, now that you are a boss mom, what future do you see in yourself? Like what is your dream?
Okay, the first thing anybody who knows me knows about me is that I'm crazy. There's a quote that says, I can't even remember who said it, but the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who go ahead to change the world.
Yeah.
I'm that crazy person. I'm that crazy person. I'll say, look, I'm not denying, I'm not saying there is no cloud on the rain on the horizon, but I'm saying look beyond the cloud and see the rainbow. And when the pandemic started, I was doing short skits about an hour and a half, in my on my YouTube channel, where I was saying, and I tended to end every skit with "This too shall pass," because I knew there was a lot of loss, a lot of pain, and people were focused on the pain. And I was like, listen, this season is also about opportunities. Oh, guys, open your eyes, shine your eye well. There are opportunities everywhere. People are taking their businesses online. People are looking for a different way to be, a different way to create, a different way to do stuff. So you can't just stay there. If you are still here, if the pandemic has not killed you, it has not killed you for a purpose. You have to get up and do something. So don't be there just crying tears and just not doing something with your life. Come out of this productive, right? So yes, when I talk about the difference that I can see now, and that's why I said, I think as the Tega said it too, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm certainly not where I was. And I have big bags, they call them BHAGS, bags, BHAGS, big, hairy, audacious goals. My dreams are so big that if I didn't come and join Long Reach, it would be to rob a bank next now. And I have decided that I am leaving footprints in the sands of time. I have decided I will not be, if I have any fear at all, is the fear of being forgotten. And that's one of the reasons I said I must start birthing my books. So far, I've co-written 2 and I've written 1 in my own name. I must start leaving footprints. I remember my son took my books, sneaked it into his bag and took it to school because he was telling his friends at school, my mom's an author. Yeah, right. And he took a copy of my book, Prison Break, and took it, and he was showing it off to his, his classmates, and his teacher saw it and they were very impressed. And they're like, really, your mom is, I showed him something. I showed him that, listen, nothing good comes easy. If you want something, you have to be able to work for it. So part of the benefits, how life has changed for me, is that I am now this focused mom who is leading by example. Whereas before I used to use my family, the fact that I'm an older mom, I'm 52, and most women my age are nursing their grandchildren. But that wasn't my story. My children are still young. Hey, that's what it is. Some 52-year-olds are still not married. Your journey is your journey. Take whatever life gives you and just be about something. Just be fulfilled. Just do something, create something. So now, instead of using my children as the excuse, as the reason why I cannot do this, that, or the other, I am now that mom who is telling my children that there is nothing that can stop you, nothing that you set your mind to that you cannot do, that you cannot achieve. Besides, you saw me sitting here in this very room. You saw me burning the midnight oil. And sometimes they'll come and say, Mom, you're I say, yes, this is the real life. If you want something, you have to make time for it. I'm not glorifying, sleep deprivation or anything, but sometimes sacrifice is needed in life. So I've been able to show my children that, listen, you cannot come here and be entitled, right? You are not, the fact that you can have everything you want doesn't mean you will have it. You have to know. I'm not helping you if I don't teach you that. I've been able to teach my children life lessons that are impacting their lives and the way they think. So if I say to them, we need to pay grandma's rent, and they want Nike, they will tell me, no, 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 mommy, let's pay grandma's rent. That's how I want them thinking. That's how I want them thinking. So I am now more intentional. I can now see my bigger dreams coming through. Last year in February, just before the pandemic went on a rampage, I did the Lip and Shine conference. It was a live conference. I've done it for 4 years before now, since 2016, November. I've done it as a virtual conference spanning several days, but I now said I wanted to take it to the next level. I wanted to do it live. That's an expensive venture. And because it was my first year going live and I didn't have a track record, so to speak, I didn't have sponsors. So it was my day job that sponsored it. And it went into double digits in terms of thousands of pounds that I spent. I brought people, I had speakers from about 3 continents come in, and we all stayed in the hotel. Some of them I paid for their hotel and everything. That's the way I made it, because I wanted to be able to create that dossier that if I go back next year, I can say, this is what we did, this is what we've done. So would you like to partner with us and all of that? So I'm very, very intentional. What am I saying? How long will I continue to do all these big, bold things that I want to change the world, to touch this person's life, touch that person's life? And how long would I be able to do that on a salary? When you do that, you're just going to be just over broke, J-O-B. And I am somebody that who I believe so much in the ministry of helps. My dad was a philanthropist par excellence. So I grew up seeing him, giving himself, giving to people. Christmas time, we would buy bags and bags of rice and divide everything up. We give to the blind lady down there, give to the widow here, so that was how my dad brought us up. For us, that was the high point of Christmas, when we went to the village and we were sharing food out to people who, my dad was training many people at the time he died. I still remember my mom coming home with the news from hospital and saying, to your tents, O Israel, the canopy is broken. I would never forget it. I was 13. That has stayed with me. Why she said those words the way she said it is because my house was full of people who were not biological siblings, but my dad had adopted them. My dad was doing so much. At his graveside, people were crying more than us. And when we asked, they were like, he was paying my son's school fees. Oh, he was doing this, he was doing that, some of which my mom didn't even know. That's who my father was. So if I'm my father's daughter, giving is in my blood. So I don't have calls from Nigeria and I say, please don't disturb me, but no, I want to do more. So for the longest time, my prayer has been, God, please give me the capacity to do more. I can't do this on a salary and I want to do more. I'm not running away from the responsibilities you've given me. I want to change people's lives. And I want an opportunity that will make that possible. And this is where Long Reach is taking me. I can see it clearly. I'm a Diamond 5 now, having joined in April 2020. As in, the future is so bright. The goals that we have, to invest more in property and everything, it just seems clear now. So I would say that it is the blessing, the difference between before I became a boss mom and now that I'm a boss mom, is the fact that I'm able to share my story with more people. I'm able to be a source of comfort. I'm able to point people where they should go. I'm able to show people that these big dreams you have, they are valid. Make no excuses. Don't think you can't get them. Don't think that they're not for you. They're for A, B, C, and D, and not for you. You too can do it. Why? Because you have greatness inside of you. And I show them how to tap into the core of their being, to connect with that greatness. And I just believe that each one of us has that flame flickering in us. And if we can join everything together, imagine how much brighter the world would be. It would be a conflagration of light. And that's what I want. So when people talk about, end world this, end wars, and if all of us are fulfilled, truly, really and truly fulfilled as individuals, happy with our lot, happy with how our lives are going, because we deliberately designed it, as Lady T said. Who will have time to go and be envying the next person or doing this or wars or whatever? It may seem like I'm being, I'm simplifying everything, but this is how this is what it means to me to change the world. And I really, really believe that Long Reach is setting me on that path, because now when it is time to do all those big, massive things, goals, I can see the income from my Long Reach business, sorting those things out. I no longer have to sit on my butt, my bottom screwed, glued to a chair and exchanging time for money. I don't want that. No more will I be a slave to my job. I want time freedom. I want locational freedom. I want all kinds of freedom, and financial freedom, of course.
Wow, honestly, we need to give you a day, because your story is inspiring, it is touching, and I am so happy that this boss mom, to me, it's no longer just about Long Reach. It's actually a ministry, because this is going to touch lives. People's lives are going to be changed for good, financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. We can have
Absolutely.
it all. We can have it all. And I believe that by next week, a lot of people will share their testimonies of how they've been able to find themselves. I'm so happy with SD Tega's own testimony of how, as a young girl, she knew what she wanted. As the T, you see, the prophecy is already even coming. Lady T has already spoken to us about, knowing your God and setting your goals right, being organized. And then our Shine Goddess is also telling us that we can do it all. You can do it all. And this platform is what has brought us together, the network. So it's no longer just about the products. It's no longer just about the earnings. There's so much more to this platform. Thank you so much, Dr. ID, for this. Okay, so now the last question, we'll just use like maybe 2 minutes or thereabouts to answer this so that we can go on to the next speaker. How have you been able to manage your time as a mom, as a working mom, and as a businesswoman? How are you able to do that?
Technology for me has been a very helpful tool. Technology has been a very helpful tool. When I sit down with my business strategist to talk, I'm always telling her, how can I ethically cheat my way to the top? Because I know that I'm time poor. I know that time is something I struggle with. I know that my day job, because the work that I do, we have clients in all corners of the world. So when I think, okay, in London, night have reached now. Guess what? There's somebody in Australia, there's somebody in America who's still expecting an email. And I am but one person. By the time I finish and go down to the kitchen, it is past dinner time and you start feeling guilty and somebody is unhappy, right? Your boss may be happy for that moment, but somebody's unhappy. You're certainly not happy because you're not in the best frame of mind, So really how I've been able to manage my time or manage all these things that I do is technology plays a very big role. Even the things that I create and the things that I do. Remember I said that my Lip and Shine conference was a virtual conference, for 4 years before we went, we did the live one. I couldn't rush to live because I couldn't do it. I didn't have the capacity. I have to look for hall. I know how long it took me before I even decided on the hotel space, the hotel that we used for the event in February 2020. So I just said to my, my strategist, what can we do? Virtual conference. I actually did a 7-day conference, 2 speakers per night. I was still working. I would rush down. Sometimes if I miss the train, I'll almost be rushing down home. Once I get home, I put on my Lip and Shine conference t-shirt. I, plop myself down there and I start receiving my speakers one a night. We're doing it in the evening, but I made it work because of technology, because I could do it virtually. So this is another thing that the pandemic has come to teach us, that we can do things differently. So technology is one. The second thing is it's my positivity and always understanding or accepting that there is always a way. If you really, really want to do something, there is a way. Sometimes you just need to ask the right questions of the right people. And when they give you the answers, please be humble and be true to yourself enough, value yourself enough to accept those answers as the truth, because only then will you challenge yourself to begin to make a change. And the third thing I would say is recognizing that in certain seasons of life, certain things may take priority over others. I do a podcast. My podcast is a weekly podcast. Thank God that I am the CEO of my brand and I call the shots. right? What I've done right now that I'm focusing on my long reach business is I've given the Shine Capsule podcast a rest for now. When I'm ready, I'll do a countdown. I'll put flyers out there. I'll make the right noise in the right places. And I'll say, guess what? Season 3 of the Shine Capsule podcast. I pick it up from where I stopped. But for now, because I'm in the foundational stages of building my long reach business, and don't forget, my long reach business is what is going to fund everything else, my lifestyle, legacy, everything else. I'm leveraging my long reach business to do all these other things that I want. So I realize that I have to give time to myself. It's just being, don't be, as Ezitega said, just be objective. There's no need to be, emotional about it, be objective. So my business strategies will say to me, sis, now, wow, this long reach is like everything long reach. I say, sis, I have a plan. Don't worry, trust me on this. I know what I'm doing. So you have to know when to prioritize. You have to make use of tools and tips and strategies. Don't reinvent the wheel. Everything where you want to go, somebody has already gone. Follow the place where people have placed their steps, their footsteps. You see people like you, people like Lady T, people like Esditega, people like Dr. ID. You know how much I adore you. Seriously, you guys have shown us so many ways. So like Long Reach is such a family that I'm blessed to be part of this family. And there is no way, I know that Dr. ID talked about one time about temporary loss of esteem. I think I felt it only for one day. Now, if I talk to you about Long Reach and you don't say yes, I leave you and I'm shaking my head and I say, chai, some people are made to be poor. Some people just like life the hard way. That's it. It's your loss. God. Like literally, I tell people I don't waste time. I don't faff around. If I'm doing this, something did. Take a close look.
Wow.
So those are my thoughts.
Thank you so much. So please, going forward, whenever anyone sees me, please address me as Dr. Uche, because tonight's session, it has given me a doctorate degree. I don't care what anybody wants to say. Like, Dr. Uche is the name now, going forward. Thank you. Thank you so much. Clara, what I can say is this. It's also a summary of what Lady T said. She said, when you're able to call the shots, life is easier for you. A lot of things can be on hold. A lot of things can be going well. Whatever, it can just go according to the way you want it to be because you are calling the shots. So I think every woman here should get to the point in her life whereby she is able to call the shots. Thank you so much once again. Honestly, tonight's session was I don't know, mind-blowing. Let me hand over to Dr. ID from your fellow doctor.
No, you must do the PhD, please. We cannot just give you doctor. Yes, you've learned a lot. I mean, there's something somebody wrote in the comments earlier, and I was just about to check it. She was just talking about how, this is an evening well spent. Okay, I've seen it. Myra says, it is yet another session of knots. I am so loving and enjoying this episode 4 of Boss Moms in Business in particular. It seems like every new episode gets better and better and better. So episode 5 is even going to be even the best. Like, people are still on the call till now, 2 hours later. It means people are getting value and they don't want to leave. Our 4th speaker can't join us anymore. She's been having network issues, been thrown in and out of it. So we will be having just 3 speakers tonight, but I believe that the 3 speakers of tonight have gotten, like, they've given it. I thank you ladies so much, but I'm not letting you go yet. Now, just like they have all mentioned, one platform has brought us all together. And I can tell you something. If you've watched episode 1, 2, 3, and now 4, you've listened to all these amazing ladies, and you have just one platform connecting these people. I want to believe that you will know that this platform is beyond the money, is beyond network marketing. It's about what we're sharing right now. Imagine having all these ladies as your allies. They are on your side because you have a common goal. We all have, you've listened. Our common foundation is Boss Moms in Long Reach, but our visions, our goals align. Our goals are aligned in such a way that we are heading in one direction, and that is a direction that you too, you want to head towards. Our directions may sound differently, but it's just one thing: touch lives, leave a legacy, and so much more. Just fulfill. Most of us are already fulfilled, and we are helping others attain that level of fulfillment. That is what we do in Longreach. It's beyond the products. Yes, the products will bring us together. The money will definitely help, like Clara said, because no matter what you say, if you don't have the money, you cannot. Even Lady Teresa said, you cannot be an effective boss mom. It's impossible, completely impossible. So I would like to ask you listening to us right now, if you are you're not yet on the Longreach business, this is not a prospective session. This is just us trying to share our stories and sharing with you how Longreach has helped us, to the point that majority of us have sacrificed so many other things to build a Longreach brand, because building that Longreach business is what we need to effectively become the boss moms, better boss moms, and grow more boss moms. So you need to speak to whoever shares this video with you and say, you know what? I think I need to pay more attention to Longreach. Tell me more. How can I be a part of this amazing family? You've only listened to less than 20 ladies. You're going to be listening to as much as 50 ladies in the next episodes, and they will all be pouring their out in different ways. So you need to be a part of us. We have a better way. Whoever shares this video with you will show you what it takes to be a part of us and the benefits you can get from being a part of us, apart from this wisdom that we are sharing tonight for free. So we're going to take, okay, Juliet is back. Madam Juliet, are you able to share, or can we reschedule you? Because I see your network has been throwing you back in and out. Can we reschedule you for next week, ma'am? Maybe it might be better. Okay, she's not even hearing me. All right, so we're going to take one last question for the speakers, and then we will call it a night. So I'm going to start again with you as the tagger. Thank you once again for sharing with us. What advice do you have for women out there? Thank you. Tell us your advice for the women out there. What advice do you have for women out there?
Yes, whether you are ready.
Okay. Hello, Madam Juliet. Sorry, as a second. Madam Juliet, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Can we? Yes, I was suggesting we reschedule your session till next week because of the network issues and time gone as well.
No, I can do it briefly. Let me just do it briefly.
Okay. Sorry about that, Ezitega. I'll come back to you. All right, Madam Juliet. So you can speak to us now. We simply want to hear from you the same questions like we've asked. In your own definition, who is a boss mom?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You can go on, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be in your midst this evening. I've listened to so many boss moms in the house, and I'm so impressed. It's as if we came together and we wrote our notes. But what I have here is so similar to what everyone has said. But in my own words, I want to say that a boss mom is a woman who is able to fulfill God's divine purpose for her life and destiny. As a woman, God has given you an assignment in your home. Is it in your office? Anywhere you find yourself, there's an assignment God has given to you. If you go to the Bible, in the book of Genesis, the Bible said when God created man, he gave him everything he needed, but yet the man was not complete. And God said, I will give him a help meet for him. So no matter how big a man is, there's a vacuum that a woman must occupy. And that is a boss mom. As long as you are able to occupy that vacuum, you are a boss mom. Okay. Going again to the Bible says in the book of Peter, it says he has given us all things that pertains to life and godliness. And also he said his desire for us is to prosper and be in health. As a boss mom, it's not just enough for you to have money. A boss mom is a woman that is prospering financially, spiritually, health-wise. You can't achieve your aim when you are not healthy. I don't know, maybe I'm talking because I'm a nurse. I'm talking because I'm a nurse. There are a lot of women out there. Yes, they suffer to bring up their children. Do you know what? When it's time for them to reap the fruit of their labor, I'm talking about when it's like going towards menopause. You are now like you suffer, you want to reap. You see them coming to hospitals. They are coming with one disease or the other. Instead of them taking care of their children's children, it's not the children. They're not bringing them hospital to meet up to their appointments. A boss mom must be able to balance both the finances, her health-wise, her health. You can't underrate your health because you are looking for money. So in summary, I would like to say a boss mom is a woman that is able to balance it all. You are careful about your health, and yet you are making your money. You are an asset to your family, in your environment. Like I wrote here, I say a boss mom is a salt to the nation. What is a salt? A salt is something that sweetens. You can't make your soup now. For example, you bought the meat, you bought the fish, you bought all the ingredients, and yet you forget that salt. You won't have the taste. A boss mom is a salt to the family. A boss mom is a salt to the nation. A boss mom is a salt to the husband. The life of your husband cannot be sweet without a boss mom. So let me just end it there as per the definition of who a boss mom.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, a boss mom is the salt. I think that is my best definition, the salt to the nation. Yes, God, you're fulfilling God's purpose and you're prosperous all round, but a salt to the nation. You know, it makes me understand that as a woman, if no one is talking about you having affected their lives, you have not started. You must sweeten somebody's life, your children, your husband, your people around you. You must sweeten, you must be that missing link. You're that missing link that you must be in someone's life for that person's life to be fulfilled, to be completed. Thank you so much, ma'am. Whoa. Can everybody be a boss mom? Because what you've just defined, can everybody be that? Can we all be that salt, literally?
Every woman is born to be a boss mom, but not every woman is a boss mom. A lot of things affect, a lot of conditions that will make you to be a boss mom. But it's not every woman. Some women, they have everything that will make them, but they are just lazy. Like other speakers said, they don't have confidence in themselves.
Confidence too. Yeah.
So women still believe that the kitchen is just for me. I don't need to go out there. What am I doing? Why am I reading? What am I going to university? It's not going to end in the kitchen. No. You can't be a boss mom in the kitchen alone. You must work on yourself. You must make up your mind. You must make up your mind to be a woman of value. If you are not a woman of value, you can't be a boss mom. So not every woman can be, but every woman is made to be a boss mom. So that is where the whole nation will be balanced.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the third question now is, when did you decide to be a boss mom? And just tell us a little bit. We don't have a lot of time though, but through the journey, like, when did you decide to be a boss mom? And what's the journey like? And also you can add what the future holds, basically. Yes.
As far back as when I was like 12 years old, I made up my mind to be a boss mom.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't like the way my mother lived her life. I didn't like the relationship my mother had with my father. Okay. The relationship was more of a boss and a servant. My father was like in charge of everything. My father was a retired headmaster, a teacher. Then my mom was also a small teacher like that. When they want to buy food, my mom had to write lists. You want to buy 1 cup of rice, you write it. You want to buy 1 kilo of flour, you write it. Then my father will now scrutinize the list. And maybe like the total from what my mom wrote is 20,000. My father, after he has cut, he may not decide to give her 5,000. He tells her, go and manage it. And guess what? At about 32 years old, my mom already had 6 children. So I didn't like the life she lived. And to make the whole story get worse, she died in the process because she could not cope. She was living a life of borrowing, begging, like that, like that. I didn't, but right from that time, I made up my mind, I cannot live my life like this. So that is why I entered into business as young as I was. From school, after school, I go hawking, I sell cold drinks. I did a lot of things. Then finally, I became a nurse. When I became a nurse, I was still doing business alongside. There was a time I went to write the exam in Ghana. After writing the exam, as I was coming back, I had some change with me. I said, why will I bring change back to Nigeria? I entered the market, I bought pots, Ghana pots. I bought them to Nigeria. Immediately I came to Benin, many people, they liked it and they bought. That was how I started the business, going to Ghana. Like that, like that, like that. That's not be easy. There was a time I was working in several places just to make ends meet because I told myself I will not be a liability to any man. I don't like the way my mother died prematurely. My mother depended so much on the husband that was not forthcoming. And yet there was a time she became ill because of the stress. She became ill at the point of ailments, no money to food abuse. She was like neglected and she died. So I made up my mind, I'm not going to go the way of my mother. So from that tender age, I started struggling. But you know what? It was, yes, I was making the money, but it was telling on my health. To the extent that when I finally got married, yes, because of the same stress, hustling, I developed some ailment. I had this spondylosis. A professor in neurology said, neurosurgeon said I needed MRI. There was a time I could not raise my right hand. It was so bad. The doctor said I just needed bed rest. I should not do anything. I would be like a vegetable. Otherwise, I will not be able to walk. I saw it as a challenge to me. I said, I've written I want to be this sort of person. How will I be a vegetable at this age? But God's words, I made up my mind that I was going to help myself because there was no help from anywhere. Thank God at that point in 2019, somebody spoke to me about Longreach. I was able to afford the product and I joined Longreach. But you know what, since that time, my life changed. I didn't need to borrow anymore. I could buy whatever I wanted to buy. Any medical attention I needed, I could give it to myself. And now, not just myself alone, I am now a blessing. I'm helping people in my church. Before they say anything, I'm there to help. The last jam people wrote, I was asking people in my church, how many of you want to write jam? You are intelligent, you want to write jam. I want to pay for you. Wow. I couldn't have done that with my salary because I'm enjoying Longreach. That is why I have money to settle those bills. My family is healthy. My family is happy now. Before we used to have stress. Imagine a man just doing everything in the home. Imagine you need something, just like one of the speakers said, you want to eat fried rice. The husband say, no, why don't you go and cook? There was a lot of quarrel. But now, I don't need to beg my husband that I want to eat fried rice. When I'm coming from work and I know I'm tired, I can't enter the kitchen. I don't ask him. I'll just call him, please, Daddy, what do you want to eat? Because I'm going to buy something. I'm not going to cook. And he will not refuse because you know why he's not going to refuse? Because you are not asking him for the money. I'm not self-dependent. In fact, I'm so happy with myself that I just do what I feel I should do for myself. I am happy about my life. Like, I've not achieved, I've not gone to where I want to be, but I am seeing it already. I'm going there. I'm just trying to rush because of time. Just about 2 days ago, one of my friends came to me and said, Mother, what about this idea of going abroad? People are pushing you. I know she will make it very well there. Yes, I listened to her. I didn't want to just talk her away. I listened to her. But when I got home, when I saw the prospect I have in Longreach, see when I joined Longreach, see what I'm earning from Longreach, see what I have on ground. Why will I be thinking of abroad? And I told her, yes, I want to go overseas, but I don't want to go there to go and hustle. I will go there to enjoy myself. I'll go with my family. In fact, she was shocked. She said, Juliet, why are you talking so confidently? I said, I'm telling you because that's what I'm enjoying in long reach. Why don't you just come and see what we are enjoying? I'll be a part. I'm so glad I've joined Long Reach. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the product. I've used the product to help so many people. So many people that I won't like to mention here. Long Reach is wow. Long Reach products are fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Whoa, see, someone says, Ma, you have made me to cry. Our mothers suffered. Mera says, today is a complete package. FSD Juliet is dishing us the bottom pots. Thank you, Lord, for this session. I should watch this at least once every week until it completely sinks in, and I agree. You have really dished the bottom pot. You know, when someone said our mothers have suffered, some mothers are still suffering today. They are still having the same experience today. Lists are still being scrutinized today. Some are having high blood pressure today because they are trying to be superwomen and they are not trying to work smart, but they are trying to work hard, but they are not, you do not work hard on somebody's money. You work smart, make your money. People are suffering this today. Even Madam Juliet decided to become a boss mom at 12 because she didn't want it. She still struggled, different businesses, health, you know. That is because most of these other businesses, they do not give you as much returns as the leverage you will get from Long Reach. As the Tiger talked a lot about leverage at the beginning. With Long Reach, you are leveraging. You are leveraging, you're shopping together with people, you are earning income. So the pressure is less. But you see that confidence, it's there. Women, please stop suffering. You see, someone says, Vianney Purity says, I can relate to Madam Juliet's story. I was just wiping tears. Women are going through this list scrutinization, crying without taking a step. Please, if you're listening to my voice right now, at least get into the Long Reach business and get serious. Madam Juliet has the Long Reach business that has helped her story change. You don't want to leave the same children that you are using as your excuse. You will still use that as an excuse, and God forbid you pass on because of the pressures. What then? The children will still have, it will be worse because they don't have you. And they don't have that struggle, that money you were working for them. Women, we need to wake up. Galaxy S20 says, my mom died because of stress. Thanks, ladies. So a lot of women have passed. A lot of women may still pass if we do not keep telling these stories and keep opening their eyes to possibilities. That is why I want everybody to please, I recommend, share with every woman all these Boss Mom series. Let them also see the other side. This is not about feminism, because every boss mom you've heard speak so far, they have a good relationship with their spouses. So it's not about feminism, it's not about having to fight your spouse, but it's about complimenting your spouse, just like Madam Juliet said. Thank you, Madam Juliet. So we have the last question for you. How are you able to manage running a home and building a business and your job as a nurse? How are you able to combine all of this?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. You know, in life, when you set your mind, your heart to do something,
Yes.
you will achieve it.
Yes.
There may be a lot of distractions, a lot of hurdles you need to climb, you need to cross over. But because you have made up your mind, there's a goal that you are looking at, nothing can remove your eye from it. You will be ready to pay the price. Yes, my children, there was a time they were young, very young, but thank God for my husband. My husband played a very vital role. There was time I had a clinic. I would run from my hospital where I work officially. I had my private clinic. I would run from there. From there, I would run. My husband would just be with the children. He's a lawyer. He's a private practice lawyer. He will be with the children. He takes them out. They travel. I'll just be on my own doing my business. But now they are grown. My last daughter is about 16. So I am free. I'm just like free as the air. I can decide to travel anywhere I want. They are not affecting me anymore, because in fact, the other thing that hurt me, even though it was not like I planned it, they were in boarding schools. So right from when they were JS1 to SS3, they've been in boarding schools. So it was as if I was just alone with my husband. So there was nothing much that was like distracting me. So just to attend to my husband and attend to my job and my private practice. It was like that because they were in boarding schools. But it's not all women that can put their children in boarding schools. Maybe
Yes.
for one reason or the other. So you can, because you have made up your mind to achieve something, you should be prepared to pay the price. Very many people are not doing well. Yes, they want this thing. They want to eat fresh. They want to eat fresh fish. They want to enjoy luxury, but they are not ready to pay the price.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody joining Long Reach. You are just after how much they will pay you. And let me just say this. When I joined Long Reach in July 2019, when they told me, gave me some how it goes, I was not after the 2 naira. I was not after the 1,007 or 2,000 something. What I made up to my mind to achieve was I want to be a VIP. And you know what? In the first month I joined Long Reach, I was Diamond 1. But I set that target for myself. I said the first month I must be Diamond 1, and I achieved it. The second month I was Diamond 2, I achieved it. The third month I said I must be Diamond 3, I achieved it. Then the fourth month, yes, I was supposed to be Diamond 4, but I had a challenge. My daughter was ill. So I was retired like 3 months. She took me out of Long Reach. But when I came back, the 7th month, I became Diamond 4.
Wow.
But that was my target. So when you set your heart to do something, despite the hurdles along the way, you will achieve it. So that was what helped me. I'm a determined person. Like I tell my colleagues.
Oh, I hope her network isn't throwing her out. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm so happy though that we got to hear from her. So if the network is going to cut her off, I'm really happy she got to speak to us tonight. It's always very, very fantastic when you are able to discover yourself early in life and you have the support. Like she said, her husband was quite supportive. He had a role. Now, what I got from that was that the husband is not one of those men that will say, why should I watch the children while you are working? And sometimes you see women, I've seen this thread online. You see women saying, it is wrong for the man to be the one watching the home while the woman is the one working. Such mindsets can actually lead to a woman working so hard straight to her grave. Because these men do not mind. Some of these men do not mind. It is in our head that we think the men will mind. Some of these men do not mind. Even my mother would tell me, my mother could tell me, oh, but it's not the job of your husband. I'm like, my husband doesn't mind. And it is our marriage. We've agreed. And he says, oh, I think you need the time to do your business. So you go on, travel for your language business, and watch the children. But you see, a woman will say, how would you? It's so unfair for you to leave your children with your husband. And so he will now leave his work and to watch children. What are you doing? This man says, I am happy with it. So women, let's also watch ourselves. Watch the things we say. Watch the things we do, because it helps us in the long run. So if you got real value from Madam Juliet, please let me see your emojis. I've seen a lot of the network. Rosemary says, make your goals your driving force. With that, you pull through. Tobore says, suffering will kill such a woman who thinks it's wrong for her husband to look after the children. So we need to also cleanse our mentality. Thank you so much, everybody, for dropping the emojis. We will be rounding up now. So we'll be taking the last words. Your advice, basically, I'll just be calling the speakers once again to give the advice. What advice do you have for women out there? Okay, as the tiger isn't here, Lady Teresa, we can start with you. What advice do you have for women out there? Please.
Okay, so it's really like it's been like a roller coaster of emotions, all right? And all I can say is that we as women, this is our responsibility now to change this narrative, to change
Yes.
this dying of stress, to change this, all these things that we are going through. It is our responsibility now to show the children. I have two boys, I don't have a daughter, but I'm even happy I have sons because now I can show them what to expect in a woman. Because most of these things is how the man grew up in a house where the mother is like a slave, doing everything. So by the time he gets married, he's going to expect his wife to be a slave. So it is our duty really now to start changing that narrative. If you live your life like a boss mom, if you call the shots in your life, your children will see that in you, and then they would also now know that a woman is not a slave. And then when they are maybe about to get married, or if whether they are men or female, they would now they would do more, they would do better. Like I always say that women, we are the nurturers of nations. If we realize that, we would do better. We would do better, we would think better, we will act better. Because the most powerful man on earth has a mother. They would always relate to their mom. The most dangerous man on earth can even still relate with the mom. So we are the ones nurturing nations. So the way our future is going to be depends on us, women. So it is just my final advice that let's stop living like victims and let's start calling the shot. Let's start taking decisions. Let's start designing a better life because our children are watching us. So if you want them to live better, if you want them to see women in a different light, then let it start from you. Become that person that has options, that has choice, that is designing a life, and your children will grow up and do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lady C. The goosebumps are still coming, but we'll survive. We'll survive. All right, as the tiger, over to you. As the tiger, can you hear me? Let me be sure that the network did not knock you out and you're not able to.
No, she's still here.
Please unmute, as the tiger. Can you hear? Unmute yourself. We're not hearing you. Your audio is muted.
Doc, I don't think she's a host anymore, a co-host.
She is.
Back.
Okay.
Okay, I've been around. I've been listening. Is my network fine?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Go on, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't at the point I was lost. I thought my network was completely.
Okay. We can hear
you. It's been such an evening. Like really, there's nothing to say again. let me just put it that way. But so much has been doled out. FOC, like completely free of charge. So people would have to pay for some of these things that have been doled out today. Some of the things that you'd be hearing either from experiences or from paid courses that some people did. So I would just want to say this. So much has been said. It's easy to take it for granted. It's easy to go, oh, booyah, I've heard so much. Oh, wonderful, fantastic value. I just go like that. And then by tomorrow when I ask you, what's up? You're like, I think I. So the only thing I want to ask everyone on this call, whether you're here on the Zoom or you're watching on Instagram or you're watching on Facebook or someone is sharing this to you, is this. Summary of everything is our lives are what we make it. If there's anything that God did for us, He gave us that sovereign power of choice. So becoming a boss mom starts with you choosing and putting together everything that everyone has said. Lady T has talked about living by design. One of the most difficult things to do is sitting down to meditate. But if you can get yourself to meditate and pull up that picture, you've started the journey. So it's simple. You've heard so much. Start the journey to becoming that boss mom using every word. If you didn't put down anything, go back, listen again, put down, and start creating your map. Because if you don't create your map, you ain't gonna become a boss mom. Get it?
Yeah.
That's all I'm just gonna say for tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, T. Thank you. The Shine Strategist herself. It was so awesome. I got your book, by the way. Prison Break. I got it all the way from UK. I was actually looking for it. It's right here. I started reading it. I'm not yet done. Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. I really, really did have a wonderful time out with you guys. And I love the hair. So I'm coming into your inbox.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Honestly,
Thank
I think
you,
I would like to
Editega.
add, you said if you don't draw your map, you're not going to be a boss mom. But I like to add, if you don't draw your map, you're going to be, someone will draw the map for you and you'll be following that person's map. And if somebody draws the map for you, you're following that person's map, you cannot be a boss mom because you are not taking control. If you don't take control of your life, don't hold the shots in your life, you've not started. So don't let somebody draw the map for you. When you use the excuse of it is my children, it is my husband, it is my brother, it is my sister, somebody is drawing your map. Draw your map and put the people where you want them to be on your map. That's what I've gotten from that. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, Clara, let's hear you as well. Thank you.
Great. Following on from what you just said, Dr. IG, what I would say is, if you're someone here today or someone listening to this and you're feeling unfulfilled, here's what I have to say to you. In essence, you know what you want to do, you know who you should be, you know how your life should be playing out, but you find yourself caught in a prison. Remember what I went through years ago when I woke up to the reality that there was no prison, no one was stopping me from doing what or living the life that I wanted to live. The first prison that you have to overcome is the prison of the mind. So begin to tell yourself some home truths. Stop sitting down there waiting for things to change. Your husband doesn't need to change. Your family doesn't need to change. You don't need to be born by Dangote. You don't need anything to change in your life for things to get better. The only thing or the only person that needs to change is you. And quite often it's your mindset that needs changing. If you can, we talk a lot about mindset and we think that we are in control of it, but people say that if we know better, we should do better. Quite often we know better, we know how to parrot, we know how to say the right things, but we don't live up to them and we don't speak them. And for most of us, maybe it's the same, even for those of us who are currently on the Long Reach platform building our businesses. There may be things that we are not doing. We may not be putting our footsteps exactly in the steps that we see. We may not be implementing. We may just be hearers of the word, not doers only. So my advice perhaps is that it is you, it is me that needs to change. It is me that needs to start taking my business more seriously. It is me that needs to remind myself of why I embarked on this journey in the first place, why I decided to give my Shine Capsule podcast a rest for a couple of seasons and to put this in front, so like center plate. So think about all those things that you need to change for things to change. Own your prison. What do I mean by that? Just live up, just tell yourself the truth, because I mean, the greatest lie you can, the greatest harm you can do is to lie to yourself. If you're lying to other people, you're fooling them. But if you're lying to yourself, oh my God, that is tragic. Tell yourself the truth. If you could perhaps do better, put in more time. If you're not doing your 5 a day, if you're not doing your 90-day challenge, if there is anything you have heard from the people who have gone on before you, who have succeeded with this platform, and you're not quite doing it, but yet you speak the speak. When we do our chat, our Zoom meetings here, you say the right things in the chat box, but you aren't really following through. It will show. Own up to it so that you can create the future that you want. That's the reason why you got on board in the first place. Let that future, let the picture the vision of that future, let it burn in your mind, that you continue to look at it and you call those things that be not as though they were, as you continue to strive, as you continue to struggle and retire from people pleasing. A lot of us are looking at what people will say. How would it look if I go on social media? How would it look if I talk to this person? I can't prospect this person because this person is this or this person is that. Longreach is a solution. Everybody needs a solution. There's a problem. There's a solution that Longreach has that is an answer to somebody's problem right here as we sit. Everybody wants wellness. Everybody wants financial freedom. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. And everybody wants to be empowered and to empower others. There's nobody on the face of the earth that doesn't want those 4 things. So see yourself as a solution bringer, a value adder. Whether you are male or female, you are a value adder. You have something that people need. When you look at it in that sense, you can hold your head up high, walk tall, preach your gospel, the gospel according to, well, I call it financial freedom or whatever. But I wish us all the best. I hope that we get better at being doers of what we hear, the tips, the tools, and the strategies that we pick up every day on this amazing journey. I hope that we become better at implementing those tips and tools so that it shows in our business and our lives are transformed. We are on this journey for influence and impact. And I hope that we see all of that and more.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Madam Juliet, I think you're back. Mrs. Murphy, I'll hand over to you very soon. Let me just hear from Madam Juliet, and then I'll hand over to you. Madam Juliet, can you give us your parting words? Do you have any message? I noticed that you were back. You can unmute yourself and just, share something for the women who are listening. Doesn't matter their gender. Well, I don't think she's able to unmute herself. All right, Mrs. Murphy, over to you.
Wow, it's been a powerful session.
Thank you. I'm so happy that I was able to make today's presentation. In summary, my last word, I would like to say that as women, we should never put ourselves in a position that you allow people to pity you. That has been my number one concern.
Mm-hmm. I think she's muted again.
I think she was even speaking as when she was muted, so I was surprised she was able to speak. So I think there's a whole network issue going on. All right. Well, at least she has said something. Do not put yourself in the position of a victim. Whenever the network allows her, she drops something heavy. Says that the network is allowing her. You cannot allow yourself to be put in a position of a victim. So, in fact, it's not even allowing yourself to be put. Don't make yourself a victim.
Don't make yourself a victim.
Don't. I don't understand why anybody should make themselves a victim. We are in the generation now where we cannot be victims. Life can be easier. You don't have to. And I don't think there's any man who loves a woman who plays the victim. Mrs. Murphy, over to you.
Okay, so last week it was, they brought cold, heat, they brought different kinds of weather for us. And then today our speakers brought fire, wind, sand, and water, all the elements. They brought it, and we have received it, we accept it. One thing I want to say is this. I honestly wish that when I was in my younger days, I wish I had something like this. I wish I experienced something like this. Because growing up then, all the women we used to hear had the same type of word. They will tell you, once you get married, make sure you increase the list. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Make sure you pound yam. Make sure you do this. Like, they literally made marriage look scary. But I thank God I had a strong spirit. But not many people have that strong spirit. Not many people actually know what they want or knew what they want. So I'd like to thank all our speakers, all the women that have been brave enough, because it takes a lot to come out and speak your truth, to speak your story. So many stories are private stories that we do not want to share. But because we know that these stories can change the life of, even if it's just one person, We come out to do this. So if you're a young lady here, you're a single lady here, you're not yet married, if you're a single mom, whatever or whoever you are, and you are listening to us, you are listening to all these women, and you know that you are hoping to get there, you are aspiring to be a boss mom, please take this as gold. Like, you do not know what you have, honestly, because the mistakes so many of us made, the mistakes so many women made, you are literally given the blueprint of how to be a successful woman, how to be a boss mom. The type of mom that your children would look up to and be like, wow, that's my mom. You're going to be the type of mom that will be making your children landlords and landladies at age 4. You're going to have, you already have the blueprint. As the Tega was talking about how in the university, she was looking for how to open an account for her unborn children. We did not know about a platform like Longreach.
Yes.
But now her children, she doesn't even need to put money in their account anymore. They get paid on a weekly basis.
Amazing.
She doesn't need to put. If she was thinking of putting before, she was thinking of how she would manage, maybe probably split money from her pocket money to build her children, to build wealth for her children in the future, children she had not yet seen. But now all she needed to do was create a code for these children. And trust me, by the time they are teenagers, these children will be star directors.
Yeah.
They would be financially free.
Yeah.
So every young woman here, honestly, you do not know what you have. Take it, like embrace it, like just go, when we're done with this, just kneel down, thank God, and say, thank you, God. Whoever it is that you pray to, just say thank you to that person, and then roll with it, run with it. And then if you're a guy here, please do not make your wife or your woman die of stress. Do not. Like, you all can have it all. I remember, I'm going to just share something very private and then I'll call it a night. I remember when my mom-in-law died and my husband was supposed to bury her, him and his siblings. And when I saw the list, you know, Igbo people and their burial, it was running into millions. I remember telling my husband, because the burial was for March. And January, I told my husband, I want to do this for you. I'm going to take care of the children's school fees. I have 3 children. I had one in secondary school already as at then. So, you know, secondary school fee in Lagos is not beans. I said, I'm going to pay the children's school fees. I'm going to pay all the bills for the next 3 months. I want you to bury your mother in style. That was my gift to him. And he was like, wow, he's a salary, he's a banker, he's on salary. You know, yes, he runs his own businesses, but I saw the bill running into millions and I know what his siblings were capable of and what they were not going to do. And I wanted him to be okay, to do everything the way it was supposed to be done. Only a boss mom can do that. Yes. I'm not of the school of thought that will say it's a man's job, let the man do. If I can pay my children's school fees, I will pay it. If my husband has other projects he's running, I will take care of the big bills. It does not matter.
It's true.
We are not competing. We are working together. We have each other's backs. So dear women, it don't be, oh, yes, you can do what you want to do with your money. But the whole essence is, are you adding value to your home? Are you adding value to your home? If you lose your income today, will your husband be happy and laugh at you and say, thank God? Or will your husband pray with you in the middle of the night for your income to come back? Let those be the last words I would like you to take from me this night. Just think about it. We can all do better as moms, as wives, and as everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I mean, I tell you that if I allow these ladies to continue to talk, we can talk till midnight because you can see they are giving up themselves. This is one thing that we haven't defined as a boss mom. A boss mom gives and gives and gives. We cannot stop talking because a boss mom wants everyone around them to be better. So thank you so much once again to all the facilitators tonight. I really, really appreciate you sharing your story. Some went even very deep and personal. Thank you. If you got cut off by network, you missed some parts, this video was streaming live on Facebook. You know, you can watch it on Facebook or you can watch on our YouTube from tomorrow. The YouTube page is called the Dynasty Group. You can go to the Dynasty group from tomorrow and watch the videos. Share these videos with every woman you know. Today's episode, like Mira said, it was mind-blowing. Honestly, this one was, like Mrs. Murphy said, fire, wind, sand, everything. But it hit us. We have learned and we will practice. So thank you, ladies, for sharing, and thank you for teaching us. Have a fantastic night, everybody. So you can all unmute yourself now and say good night to the facilitators. Say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Alex.